Sorry for the delays. Um, let's play some D&D. um, so, these adventurers across the land of Erseia are hot on the trail of Gundren Rockseeker, their employer who asked them to bring some supplies down to Phandalin, fairly routine. Obviously, things have become much more complicated. Um, they are now find themselves deep within the Neverwinter Wood, on the edge um, of Cragmore Castle, a place that they had found out from a couple of goblins from the late Sildar Hallwinter that Gundren Rockseeker was to be held here. After some brief reconnaissance, Fenro, the wood elven monk type individual that travels with you, did a quick circuit of the castle and has told you some fairly interesting things about it, and that there was in fact a voice speaking to a dwarf, it seemed, or rather interrogating a dwarf. Now with a plan to divide and conquer, the party is about to set off on their tactics to deal with a undead patrol of 4 skeletons with one hooded individual around the exterior, and the all the denizens within the castle. So,
Indeed.
you are all talking, nodding to each other, discussing tactics and plans as you are outside outside Cragmore Castle, deep in the Neverwinter Woods.
I think we're among some rocks and a small, maybe a little bit of a clearing, but among a well chosen, picked out ambush spot.
Indeed.
As well discussing.
Ooh.
As look up into the sky. What kind of time is it now? I believe it's afternoon. Is it?
Mm-hmm. It was about 3 in the afternoon.
3
I
in
think
the afternoon.
3 or 4.
Yep. And the weather around, just from imaginations. Is it what kind of weather is it today?
It's a clear day.
Clear day.
It was a little overcast before. It's cleared up now.
Okay. Well, does everyone agree on this plan? You hear the deep words of Siege, and I can jump into a character description if you would like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Suited up in weather-worn, tight-fitted scale mail, a round reinforced iron shield hangs loosely off his quite mediocre frame. He's a human, and with an impressively engraved copper flail neatly tucked into his belt, which is currently saturated with all sorts of sizes of pouches, satchels, and even sheaths of smaller blades. He's a man obviously unused to woodland and shrub tundra. He looks slightly tired, looking about constantly with a stern but worried look to his masculine features. His face, average looking, a bit sunken and gaunt from the recent horrible wounding and stresses of this expedition to the woods. He looks like he's lost weight. His garments look a little bit baggy. He has, though his physical frame is lacking in impressiveness, however, you can see the parts of his skin which are exposed. You can spot various veins from his cardiovascular system as they run up his arms. A gold coin pendant, symbol of Wakin, the golden lady of coin, hangs around his neck. And you can see as he absent-mindedly, his right hand fiddles with it sometimes. And as he looks around and he looks at each of you in the eye with a stern gaze, trying to determine a plan, his piercing grey eyes looking deep into Avalok's.
What are you looking at, Tyber? And he sort of stared at me. And
any thoughts? And
describe
a character.
Was it Elvin's a wizard? It wasn't named Avalok, was it? Still, yeah, afterwards, cleaning himself off on the previous scene, looks at the ectoderm of was it wizardry itself, and all of his robes are not disheveled or anything like that. He stands with a tall elven, was proud as he is, but still concerned with the present situation of having to storm was a castle with only preliminary sort of knowledge in itself. As he sort of skirts his eyes towards the castle sort of embankment itself, and says, "Well, I guess it's the only actual plan we do have. I'm still considering the fact I may be able to change form if we get closer to Albert in that cage, if the information is correct."
Well, the issue would be getting inside there without being spotted by the patrol and whatever lays beyond. And also, we would need to get close to the owlbear, who can say that this thing could cause a fuss. Perhaps if we were sneaky
I
enough,
don't think
and
he's
I
going
look,
to be quite happy that he's been locked in there, though.
yeah, and I look over at Porrick. Grab a character.
I'm sitting there with my crossbow in my hand, with my leather armor on. I'm quite. It looks like I've been in the forest. I haven't bothered to particularly clean myself up, kind of thing. I'm quite enjoying. It looks like I'm at rest at where I am, kind of thing. And I'm just sitting there with the crossbow in my lap, just making sure everything's clean. Looking at my arrows. I've got a small rock that I'm sharpening them with. Each one individually and carefully. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. And I say to him, I don't think that if we find this owlbear, he would go quietly. I'm sure he would have a few words to say to his captors, don't you think?
That's a
That's
good
what I'm
point.
afraid of.
No, think of it this way: the fact that he can act as a distraction. If we can get that far within the castle itself, it
would
may
be a
be
very
to escape.
dangerous distraction. I imagine we'd have to put him down afterwards, but hey, I'm sure they would be trying, and it would make them quite a little bit tired to do it themselves as well.
It's a good plan, but
Even better if they don't suspect that it came from the outside.
a good plan. However, there is still the issue of that troll outside the grounds. The original plan, is to reiterate and to regather my thoughts, the original plan was to perhaps lead that patrol out here among these rocks here, ambush him
Wait,
at
did
this
you say
spot.
patrol or troll?
Patrol.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The patrol to these rocks here, where we shall deal with them as quickly as possible. The fighting will no doubt cause alarm within the castle. That is for our benefit. And here we will split up. Osborne and I look over at the half
Fenro.
and Fenro. Look over at the elf. We'll split off with the horses, try and lure them, the remains or the remnants of the garrison, out, lure them into the woods, while myself, Avalok, and Porrick, if you are willing, we take the horses and then quickly drive around to the north side.
Is there any, sorry, out of character, we've seen this place now, haven't we? We've gone up to it and scouted
Yeah,
it.
you've observed it from one angle. Fenro, the elven monk that had met up with you while you were away, did a circuit of it and described some of the initial features and some things that he was able to peer in and see.
Is any roofs made of straw or anything, or is it all pretty solid stone? So, like, inside
It's
the
all
castle walls?
it's all stone, stone construction. The doors are wooden, but the doors are they have like brass panels like across the wooden doors.
I mean of ironwood. Fucking ironwood. Alright, cool. Yep, no problem. I won't go with that idea then. Continue.
Yes, and then move in from the northern entrance, an entrance spotted here by Fenro. With that, we should hopefully divert the remainder of the garrison's attention to the southern side, and we should enter in from the north, and maybe from there we could see to the recapture of Gundren, finding out exactly what's going on, and if we can, unleash this owlbear. If we can do it safely.
Or what
Hmm?
about we just walk in the front door?
Announce ourselves.
Not particularly announce ourselves, ask if we could have a chat with the man. We could get ourselves captured in a sense, get through into those first doors, and then once we're in the doors, we can cause as much havoc as we like. They wouldn't particularly expect something like that. Have we seen any trade routes or anything going in or out of this place? They must somehow
Well,
get supplies in there.
if I
We have a
From-
remember,
donkey and we have a
Oh.
horse. We could look like traders.
if
From
I
the
We
outside,
could.
this part of its defense, it seems that this castle looks abandoned. It looks as though no one's inside. It looks old and broken and crumbly, which has made it advantageous for these goblins to use as a base of operations, as it was thought to just be another ruin.
A worried look flashes across my face, becoming much more stern as I look down at the ground and look up back at you. I believe that would be a very risky proposition. These goblinoids, they eat people. Cannibals.
Hmm.
We eat
We
chickens.
could get overwhelmed. We could get overwhelmed quite easily. It would be very difficult to pull off.
Is a goblins thing that they're scavengers or do they live in communities? What's the go? I assume we'd know that.
I guess
Are they primitive?
I
Proper
guess you've
primitive,
heard
or do they have structures?
I mean, they can speak. They are sentient, fully sentient, and live. It's quite tribal, and there's always a leader. Think of like, pack of hyenas.
Okay, so they're not. They don't have communities and forges and all that kind of shit.
Oh, they would definitely,
So they're
but
ninjas.
they're usually quite subservient to some other more dominant or powerful. Think that there are large
So they're
goblin
usually
settlements
someone
and
else's
places,
creatures.
but due to the fact that they are quite weak and easily manipulated, usually they are in service of another greater power.
In this case, they're in service to the Necromancer, as far as we're
However,
concerned.
however, Poriki raises an interesting point, perhaps. Perhaps we've been looking at this the wrong way. What if, by some stretch, diplomacy would be the best option here? Or at least the main option we attempt.
Well,
I'm not saying that we go in there and shake hands with them. I'm saying we go in there, we get past their walls, and then we kill them all. I mean, how many can there possibly be in there?
I have no clue. I look over towards the castle. How big is this thing?
So it's about
Would it look like it'll be able to hold like I don't know,
Thousands?
200, 1,000, 200 men? Like how many men could man the ramparts? Like I know it's
so
kind of
there are
demolished, but
there are 7 collapsed towers. So the only
okay.
serviceable part of the keep is the ground floor.
Yes.
However, like any castle, it has a generous foundation, and the ground floor actually just stands a meter or two up off the ground. So even these arrow slits that poke out of the walls and tower bases actually still a fair way above the ground. So 1 or 2 meters probably above the ground, like looking down. It's about I would say it's hard to see, but it's about 30 to 40 meters across, like left to right. In
Okay.
total.
Okay.
So it's sizable. I mean, 40 meters across. Like, if you think about the 50 meters, it was 50 meters across as a building made of stone. Yeah. And it's nearly
Yes.
that much forward to back as well, but you obviously can't perceive that from this angle.
So at least like in terms of it's at least the size of like a large fortress.
It's a keep
sort
or a
of deal.
fortress.
Yeah, keep. Yeah, yeah.
It's not
Okay.
looking tall and towering though. It's like crumpled. It's almost like the base of it.
Hmm.
There are many collapsed walls and things, but those collapsed towers, all that rubble still forms like, serviceable walls and things.
Is it backed up onto something? Like, is the entire...
No, it's
so
you can walk around it.
Oh, so you can just walk straight into it. Over the rubble.
Well, it's sealed up. The walls are intact. Anything that's
I keep on
rubble
thinking
is
that
like
you're saying the
stacked up
walls were let
high,
down.
like really, really high.
Okay. Alright, I understand what
I have no clue
Like,
how
it-
many
it-
could be inside there, but if it's more than 20, then that's an issue for us, even if these are goblins. However,
If I might interject, wasn't quite quickly. Beforehand was Podrick's
sure.
idea of actually, well, at least getting in diplomacy to a point to meet our means. The fact, if I remember correctly and all that, well, a stone was a foundry back in Fandolin was actually supplying this castle many centuries ago. Now, I'd imagine we wouldn't be able to, per se, was a talk with the goblins, but goblins are subservient to some greater power. That greater power might be more willing to talk than, its servants. If we presented ourselves as quarrymen or people was traversing here to present them a deal, perhaps it's a long
I
shot.
kind of like look over you when you say quarrymen and like.
I look at you as well. Like, what?
And it's
Look
like,
at you! Look at this
Sir, I don't
pristinely
think
clad,
offensive.
dressed, opulently dressed, robed, clean elf, just slumming it with these two scraggly ass humans who are just
You're going to have to look a little less
opulent.
elfish. No, I use the word elfish.
I use the word opulent.
If you're going to run against a bodyguard.
And I just go,
But-
but that's why I have magic, my dear sir.
Yes.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
Still,
Well, I think it's personally a shot. I mean, we have the donkey, we have the chicken, and I don't mean to say, but I kind of look like a raggedy old man who might be able to talk to them.
but wait,
I
we
don't
would
know.
simply announce ourselves as masons, as quarrymen. For
Well, I
no,
would announce myself as a mason, and you two could be my bodyguards.
so we would, but what would be they would ask us. They would not be expecting us. They would be instantly suspicious. They may not even
David,
allow
we
us within
saw
the
it.
walls.
We were told to come down here to inspect by our boss, my boss, to see if these castles could be repaired and who was in these castles at this point in time, because the king decided that he wanted some of these castles to be garrisoned, and that he would pay a handsome fee to one that could be possibly turned into something that could be a fort. These goblins are most likely motivated by money. If we can make them think that we have money on the table, hopefully that might be able to start to move some gears around. Even then, I'm sure we will make it to the necromancer.
I pause. That is a plan based on the assumption that they do not outright attack us and raid us, or simply
is
laugh at our
correct.
presentation. I'm
Alright.
not sure about this at all. As I look at you, like questioning, well, this is not really a
Well,
good plan. Well,
if we do this, if there's one of us who go up there or two of us, if this plan fails, we can move to the next plan by then drawing those people out. We can then use the horses. One person runs away, makes it look like as if they're running away, and then they get on horses and ride off, and then hopefully people will follow.
we will lose the element of surprise if we do it like that.
We won't lose the element of surprise when two more people start attacking them. How many people do we have? We have 4.
No, my suggestion originally was to lure out the patrol outside along here and then finish him off with our number, and then from here cause enough of a ruckus so that the garrison will stream out and pursue us, and from here we split off.
Why would the
And make our
garrison
entry.
come out of its walls, though?
We will make a fuss.
And
We
at
will
this
cause
point,
alarm.
at this point, you see Fenro and Osborne in conversation just off to the side, kind of murmuring quietly, or almost quite almost reverently to each other. They clasp wrists, nod to each other, and they say, "Right." Sorry, I'll say it in the Osborne
Perhaps.
voice. Right. Are we going to distract them?
Well, Porrick does raise a good point. What if they simply close the gates? Still, I do
But-
not hold much stock in the intelligence of these goblins. If they smell food, they usually chase. I believe we stand in fair chance that they will attempt to chase us if we make our presence known, rather than close the doors and hole up in their castle. Do you have reason to suspect otherwise, Porrick?
No, I do not, sir. I just think that it's a good time to have a good discussion before we go into this. I believe
Indeed.
that your plan at this point in time will bring them an amount of success. However, I do think that before we go through plans, we should look at other options. And I agree that we should most likely have a vote, unless anyone has any other problems on what plan we'll go with. But at this point in time, I do support you, sir.
I appreciate that, and yes, of course, I do believe discussions are important. Avalok, you want to mention something?
Well, why don't we combine the two plans? Think of it this way: we need these goblins or whoever else to actually come towards us, I suppose, or whatever. Well, perhaps we can act as the quarrymen themselves or whatever, and say that, oh yes, we are, if so successful, that we do have our materials, but not like right up to the gate or whatever. We require, sort of inspection. We don't want to, assume that, we'll move this stone into their realm or whatever without, verification. So, if we have the goblins or
Yes.
the Dire Masters to come out, then we can surprise, that group or whatever for a time being, while still having people at the front gate who can either slip in or, cause more of a distraction.
A disguise could be useful in this regard. However, I beseech you all to rethink perhaps another disguise rather than quarry or masons. I look over at the dilapidated, crumbling castle. It doesn't appear this castle has been tended to or maintained at all. And if indeed these goblinoids have been holed up within this castle, then I believe they have made no attempts to repair it. Perhaps are not interested in repairing it. This
The goblins don't have to be interested. The necromancer has to be interested.
The one they fear.
perhaps.
Or even
one
with
that they
that sort of
serve.
state, you could remember the fact, what do goblins like? They like food. We could be traveling food vendors of some description.
That would enrage them, or at least cause them to attack us.
Or, of course,
Simply, if you walk into a wolf's den with meat, you will simply attract the wolves, and they will come at you.
We could always
I'm-
just get a wolf and put it outside the gates and see if they open. I laugh to myself.
Simple, sometimes the best, but in itself,
User joined your
perhaps, yeah, we might have to go.
We could disguise ourselves like we did before with the Red Brand as agents of this black spider.
I
This place
suppose,
is-
because they're working for them, aren't they?
This place is far out of the way. It is not easily tread upon by wanderers. You need specific instructions to get here. And this place is surrounded by dangerous monsters. As I keen my ears out to the owlbears in the distance, no doubt we're lurking in the underbrush of the canopy. This place, if we announce ourselves as agents of the Black Spider, well, it is not as if they could assume that we are simply wanderers trying to fool our way in. We know this place exists, and we know the name of their leader. They may allow us simply in, because we know this name and because we know this place. Who else could we possibly be?
True, and would you think that actually had information that their operation near Fandolin has been completely disrupted?
That's a good
point. And as
nod.
as I look to the actual glass staff itself that I have in my hands, I have a very good recognition of the man we defeated getting this off.
Iano.
So,
Yes. Yes. And I point over to my opulently refurbished red brand cloak on my side, the cape on the side. I do have this. I could adjust it in a way so that I could at least fit the look.
I think we
Perhaps
might have something.
I have some materials on me. Perhaps with a little bit of
Could
work,
make a
I could work in
Porricu
something.
as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because before, well, that's the defeater was at the red band. Yes, we were able to acquire certain things from glass stuff, and
Indeed.
we could use
If
them.
we can, good plan. I believe that would be the best method. But however, once we get in, I'm sure we will succeed. And we come before Black Spider. What then?
Because
Would we wish to kill them? We do not have the aid of Fandolin and Sildar Hallwinter like we
How do
did with
you
the
even
Red
kill the
Brand.
necromancers here?
Cut off its head. Same most things die, I suppose.
and I should be able to.
I'm sure we should be able to manage to cut off its head. I mean,
Indeed.
he's just a man then, isn't he?
Hopefully.
Man with abilities, but I should be able to nullify anything he has to throw at us. If it comes
I look down at the dirt and say, hopefully. Regardless. So, we go before this black spider disguised as Red Brand. Tell him the bad news of the fall of the Red Brand in Fandom. And from there...
And I disguise myself as Iano and try to pass myself off as best as possible. We just have to imagine that this could fall very, very quickly, so we best prepare ourselves for a fight nonetheless.
And if it does break into a fight, there are many goblins inside, at least I believe so, from what Fenrir told us.
Well, we attempt to get to that cage where that owlbear is, release it, and then run as fast as possible.
Or hide and wait.
Yeah, either which way.
And at this point, Fenrir speaks up and says under his breath, "It sounds like you have a good plan. I am here to kill one foul creature that slayed my
You may need to kill
companions.
more than one. There's lots of goblins in there, Fenrir.
This is a dark creature that can change shape, as I've witnessed it.
The
Came
goblin
into
or
my
the bear?
camp many months ago, and I've tracked it through the woods. Never ending will be my vengeance upon this creature."
And I sort of turn to him quickly and say, as long as you keep within the confines of the plan, I have no problem with your vengeance. But at any time it becomes, upset between our goals itself, well, we might have a problem.
He says, "I will not interfere. In fact, I am grateful, for you can get me closer to my revenge.
Good.
When I see that foul creature, and it could be anything, so be on your guard."
Wait, no. No, you will not lash out against this creature unless we deem it that we lash out and we attack. You will not act by yourself.
Which creature is he talking about?
He
I look at him
bows
sternly.
he bows and nods his head and says, "I will not compromise you, my friends."
You need to move with us with the expectation that should certain persuasions be made effective, we may not even need to attack them. See to it that you resolve yourself to expect this. Your revenge might not come
nothing.
today.
He says nothing but just nods. You can see his fists clench, and he nods.
But we will see. We risk much entering. But that's a plan. What if we move in with this disguise, this plan. And as we move in, Osborne, perhaps you can do us a favor.
He says, "Yes. How can I be of service?"
You will need to unleash the owlbear as soon as a fight breaks out.
At this point, he smiles. He goes, "It has been many, many weeks since I have had dealings with such a beast."
Yes, well, your targets won't be the beast. You will actually be responsible for ensuring that the beast does its work on the goblins. I smile and nod at
He
him.
nods and he says,
I'm sure you're more than capable of this.
"But will I travel with you?"
We will meet up with us at a later stage. However, we will need you to be by the owlbear. Just in case.
He says, "But what if it is guarded?"
Well, deal with the guards.
At that point, he like a monk, just fist to open palm and bows, and then
Nothing
sits
you can't handle.
cross-legged on the ground, and just begins to like meditate and clear his mind, ready for the oncoming challenge.
Nothing you can't handle. I've seen you destroy wooden constructs back in Phandalin with your bare fists.
You just see him nod slowly and just go, A deep grumble from a fairly small but very, very stout creature. As you've seen halflings before, but this build and this breed of halfling is distinctly different. And you can his voice and his vocal cords almost has that kind of that roughness and that vitality sounding of a dwarf. Very, very stout.
I believe this is a good plan. What do you believe?
I believe that if there's any chance I should do the talking, I've dealt with people like this before. I had to sell things, but if you feel that you are ready, that's up to you.
Yes.
I think that I will be able to do it.
I believe we should take on the role. Go ahead.
Fenro asks. He says, "Do you want me to travel with you, or perhaps assist this one with the release of the beast?"
What does he look like? Is he scruffy or not?
Yeah, so you see before you a slender, yet very, very toned and athletic looking wood elf. You can tell just because of the coloration of his skin that he's a wood elf. You know, back slick, pointy ears. Just in kind of plain traveler's clothes, no seeming armor, but travels very, very light. He carries himself with a poise very similar to Osborne, and you can, just from sizing him up, you can tell he has martial training or has some kind of martial art to his... the way he moves, he carries himself with such purpose and deliberation that he's completely aware of his body at all times. He's a rough and weathered-looking face, and where often elves have quite slender, slim-looking eyes, his squint even further, and you can just see that this individual is weathered, has seen hardship, and has definitely that burning vengeance on his mind.
I see. Well, what do you think? I look over at Avalok and Torek.
Well, I think we best do this plan as quickly as possible. Well, we don't want to cause...
in the room with Black Spider.
Just remember, he's still a man, and if we catch him unawares or whatever, we might be able to strike before he has time, if it comes to that. But I think we can do it. We just need to sell ourselves. Then we'll be fine.
Yes. Well, Torek, I believe the best plan should be that we will wait for Avalok to finish a ritual that will disguise himself as Iano, a man who was the leader of the Black Staffs, Red Brand back in Phandalin. We managed to end him and capture his glass staff, the same staff Avalok has right there. If you and I simply act as this man's bodyguard and we will follow Avalok's cues, leave the talking to him mostly. We will act as Red Brand, a band of bandits who assaulted Vandalin. Does that sound understandable to you and agreeable? He stands there and thinks attentively about what I've just said. And Osborne and Fenro, when we move in, you two will stand by the owlbear. And when the time comes, you will hear it, no doubt. Release the owlbear and see to it that the owlbear does not kill you, and see to it that nothing kills the owlbear. We'll try and make that creature as great of a distraction as possible. I believe that would be the best. Now,
Fine, it is.
and it is.
So, and besides, it's not quite a ritual. It's just simply Iano. And as I do that, I cast disguise self on myself and just flash my hand
Okay.
up.
So, you're, you do recall him quite well and with quite a likeness. And all the party
Hello?
all around you, you see
Hello?
Hello?
Avalak. Hey, see,
Oh, sorry. I'm muted.
you see Avalak transform into Iano, or Gladstaff Albrecht, the human wizard that you remember being slain
Much more
between the lot of you.
attractive.
Porrig, you probably wouldn't have seen this man before.
I don't.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have.
Um,
You wouldn't have seen him before.
That's okay.
But he is a rather distinguished-looking human male, in his 40s, with brown and silver hair and brown and silver beard, mostly brown, only a few strands of white. Now stands before you, complete with red robe attire.
So,
and
Avalok,
Root, this will last for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
you don't happen to have any poison on you, do you, Avalok?
Oh, not on me. I generally wasn't take potents, but I might have something in my bag you might be able to mix into something, if you know of such arts.
I need them for my arrows.
Yeah, arrows. Let me just have a quick look.
My
Poison
at
your
this.
arrows.
I'll use the correct word. But we're gonna need whatever edge we can get.
Yes.
I'll
See
grab
to
it,
it that you do not hit
Prick
any of us
myself,
with it in the fray.
And I looked through my bags, and the only thing I could actually find is the scarecrow stick.
Mm.
That they were quite, and I just pull that for a second and look at it. I was like, no. Unfortunately, probably I don't think I have anything. Maybe it was transmuted accidentally during my transformation.
Fiber?
Well, no, I do not carry such things upon my person.
Osborne?
He looks. He just. He continues to meditate. He says, "I carry nothing."
Oh. And then what's his other guy's name?
Fenro.
Fenrir?
He shakes his head. He says, "No, my body is the weapon."
Of course it is. Alright.
Perhaps there is some
No, I think we'll do.
fauna
Let's just
nearby.
go and kill a wizard.
Yes. Remember, we are Red Brand. Look apart. Remember, we're Red Brand. We'll leave the talking to Iano here. Iano.
Iano.
Well.
And
And I do like then as a note, I do now try and tuck away my copper flail, which is and my pendant of Joaquin, as that will be a dead giveaway. So I do make sure I hide. I probably like get the flail and wrap it up even, and just put it back in my belt, and I make my short sword. My Red Brand's short sword, which I took from them,
Yep.
more evident upon my body, just to
to look like a
complete the
preferred
look.
weapon.
If my weapons were evident before, they're now more evident now.
Like now,
Yeah.
even more visible.
They're now even more visible, so I look even more bandity.
Okay. And just as a note, you've got your horses, Mary and Mary, all that kind of behind you a little bit in the, like kind of tied up in this little dip, this little trench that's tucked behind two large tree roots. They're
And
kind of dip down into the earth.
I do happen to have a disguise kit, so I do enhance my.
Oh, do you actually have one?
I do.
Did you get it from
Yeah.
background, or
Yep.
like you actually get the possession of it?
Yep.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yep.
Madman.
So I
You're gonna
enhance
take
myself.
a little bit of time and
Yep. And I am
and do-
proficient in it as well. So.
yes. So go ahead and roll a d20.
All right. Yeah, I just rolled the. I think here we go.
And I'll say use your intelligence.
Great roll. 3 plus.
Actually,
if I'm,
all
if
wisdom,
I'm,
all wisdom, intelligence
if
or
I'm
wisdom.
if I'm proficient in something, what is that? Just my
Plus
proficiency
2.
bonus?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's total of 8.
Okay. Yep. So you apply like very basic like disguise elements.
Yeah. I don't have anything on me which is going to say, "Hey, I'm a red brand," but I could kind of adjust my
Yeah.
cape.
Are,
So
is
it's
there,
a
are there
little
any
more-
things you attempt
more
to
red.
add, like anything specifically?
What are the
No,
colors?
I just
Red?
use the kit
right.
just to I suppose make myself more dirty, much more dirtier
Okay.
than be a look ragtag, maybe even look wounded, slightly. To
Okay.
varying degrees of success about looking wounded, but I am a little bit wounded as well, so that that won't be too hard, I suppose. And yeah, that's it. I just make myself like look disheveled.
I
Okay.
look at you, Fiber, as you're making yourself look disheveled, and I go, "Sir, do you think I'll need to look more like you?" You look over me, and I've got stinking just shit all over me. Just the
No, you
smell
look
of
fine.
ogre pungent in the air.
You look and smell exactly like a red brand. Perfect. I would
Excellent,
just
sir.
add. And is there anything red on you? If you have anything red, I would recommend you bring it out.
I'll just tie a piece of red cloth. Like, how
Yeah.
did they look when did they have any distinguishing markers, or were they just bandits and they just identified as red?
They had a
Yeah.
uniform similar of the
The-
material where you have my cape here from.
Yeah, they did have red cloaks. Yeah. And some
Either
of
way,
them,
we'll have to do.
some of them instead used like got strips of would have done a red mask, like a bandana mask instead. Those of them, because there were some among them who were actually the townsfolk, and would hide their faces.
As long as we do not stand out too much, I'm sure Iano here will be more than enough to.
Do you have any red fabric there that I could borrow?
I mean, yeah.
I might have some dyes here. I look through. I find some dyes. I don't have red per se, but I do have black and yellow. Perhaps you could mix that together into some sort of.
No, don't worry about it. I'll talk my way out of there. We have been through a battle, and losing something would not be
Yes.
an unlikely thing to happen.
After a few moments, I do adjust myself, and everything's ready. All right, I'm ready.
I just need
And
to
look over.
understand. Wait, talk like human. I must be brash. I must be brash. Brash. Okay, we're good.
As you see Avalak more or less get into character, as when you're an elf for several hundred years, it's some habits are tough to break.
I'm a silly human. I'm a silly human. There we go. Okay.
Ale,
Hell.
pause.
Well, it's good. Let's go.
Osborne and Fenro get to their feet and say, "Okay, we will meet back here. Shall we wait for you to conclude your business, or attempt to sneak in?"
If there's a ruckus, I imagine you'll be able to see it, and I'm pretty sure help would be much
And Fenro
appreciated.
speaks up and says, "If there is a threat to the keep, won't your presence become suspicious?"
Well, I think we might be able to blend ourselves in still further if we're not immediately.
And Osborne says
Given away.
back to Fenro, "You forget, this is the leader of the Red Brands. No goblin can stop him. They wouldn't dare."
Yes.
Cool.
Tie up the horses here and have them ready to be moved just in case we need to escape quickly.
So
And
you kind
then
of do loose knots on their horse, so the horses won't walk away. But you'll be able to quickly just, if you do like jump on them and kick, they'll probably like just rip the ropes off.
see to it as we walk in. We'll see to it that we distract the one outside so that you can sneak in. I believe that would be the best option for you to get in.
They look to each other, nod, and they unless something goes wrong, we will meet back here in 1 hour, less.
Yes,
1 hour.
1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And off we trot.
you start to head off as you do see, as you turn back towards the keep, this hooded figure, which you've seen nothing of it. You've seen this hooded figure with skeletons around it, now still walking around, and it kind of goes off to the right and hides, and kind of you see it disappear behind the edge on the right hand side of the keep from where you're standing.
We wait
You're
for it
looking
to
at the
come
southern.
back.
You're looking at the southern face, and you can wait for it to come back round, or now approach if you wish. Straight up in front of you looks to be like a flat wall with perhaps a door that looks like a side door. On the left-hand side, you remember Fenro had told you what looked like a main entrance, like a main kind of, processional-looking keep entrance, and there was a potentially hidden path on the north side as well, hidden behind a blanket or a tarp type cloth.
Well, as we're looking towards the path itself, what do you think? We should announce ourselves right at the front door.
It would be suspicious if we tried to sneak in. Let us announce ourselves.
Good point. You see that necromancer walk by?
Should we wait for him to return? I say low, like close to you, low. So I'm not trying. That
Why
doesn't
would
look
a
like we're
red
speaking.
band care?
We should at least announce our presence so that perhaps he
Good
can
point.
lead us, in fact, to the Black Spider.
I'd rather him was knowing where he is, not just disappear, and then when things go awry, random
Yes.
skeletons appear. Okay.
Yes. Let us simply wait, and we wait for a second.
Okay.
I suppose
And
we're walking out
do you
in
approach
clear
forward
sight.
into the clearing?
Yeah, we
And
do.
you kind of do you walk towards that main entrance?
Yeah.
And just as a note, while you as you depart, you see Osborne and Fenro now kind of slide away into the trees
Very good.
and start to loop around that right-hand side as you've gone left. They rolled pretty decent on stealth.
Yeah, so we're
Okay,
just
so-
kind of waiting for the necromancer to move back around and see us.
Okay. So how are you traveling? Describe in what formation and
Triangle formation. Iano in front. I'm on the right. I suppose Porik will be on the left.
Okay.
Quite huddled close together, and keeping my
Okay.
head down and looking and scanning. Looking very much like I'm trying to look for threats, trying to disguise myself as an obvious bodyguard.
I'm just marching
Okay.
up in front of what are looking stern and direct as possible as we get to
Glass
the main
staff in
entrance.
front.
Okay. So, as you go there, you wait there, and the hooded figure sees you, and almost pauses for a second before hurrying along to you, kind of a hand on its belt, starts to walk forward with skeletons kind of posting around it.
I kind of do the same. I kind of step out from behind Avalark with my hand on my short sword.
Yep.
And I just kind of
okay.
like lean on it slightly, and just watch them closely approaching. Not saying
As
anything.
Iano, you see now a group of four skeletons surrounding a hooded individual now. As they approach, they now come to a distance of 10 meters away, and they say, "Glass stuff. It is a surprise to see you." And they pull their hood back, and you see a male drow now standing there. Hood pulled back, white hair kind of flowing down, dark red eyes, and a glossy, like a polished black skin look to them. All of you would probably know or have seen perhaps one or two drow in your travels before. Perhaps not Parig, but the others absolutely.
A scowl comes across
And-
my face as I evidently look annoyed and disinterested in them. But in
And-
the inside, I'm like, oh shit.
I
And
say
you hear the voice say, "I heard that your operations in town fell to pieces, so you have come back here for sanctuary."
Oh, do you think I was defeated by the mere was a peasantry itself? No, we have greater problems that I wish to discuss with you-know-who.
Okay, go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage.
Yeah. 13...
Yep, that's cool. It was a really low DC.
Yeah, oh, okay. All good.
Also, just as a note, can you also roll a performance for me?
Stand on my head. Ugh.
Oh,
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay.
And that's
No
why I
visible
don't
reaction to
plus
that at this point, but
Oh, so you're going to stand in my way all day,
And-
or can I go up?
they nod and say, "Indeed. Let us go see Groll." And you then see it turn to the skeletons, and it waves a hand and says, "Keep guard here." And they post up on this main entrance with the skeletons with short bows walking up in front of you upon the landing with their short bows now standing watch over the forest as this drow individual leads you through the main entrance. And it is dark inside. It is quite dark. It's dimly lit. As you approach the two main towers that stand guard over the main entranceway, you peer in and you see skittering goblins kind of poking their heads up through arrow slits.
Does it smell?
Inspecting. You do start to smell like a filth and a pungent aroma, much similar to the hideout cave, but luckily this one is mixed in with the fresh air of the forest. But at this is where the atmospheres collide, and you're right on the cusp of the goblinoid ozone surrounding this castle. And as you enter and proceed, you feel this solid ancient stone beneath your feet. Little far off sconces as you now enter the main entranceway, the kind of the landing hallway, and you see a long hallway to your left and right and forward as dimly lit hallways and flames kind of dance across the broken rubbles, and there are little piles of broken in walls and collapsed pieces. You look above. The floor above, the roof above you is partial. You can see through to in some bits there are some small, very minute sun shafts of light that then are completely unique amongst this otherwise overwhelming darkness throughout.
Is it dark enough that you would have maybe for a human have difficulty traversing here easily?
Yeah, so
Yep.
like any so it would like instinctually like this drow does not reach for a torch. This
Yeah.
drow is completely fine. And
A
says,
moment, Ayano, I say as I reach out and start lighting a torch.
Okay.
I tried to feign, not being able to see so well with human eyes, even though I can
Yes.
see the entire hallway.
Yes, indeed. And you anyone with a passive perception higher than 15 would see this drow individual like shake its head and then slink forward and um and it goes straight forward. As you go forward through this hallway, as I said, there was a hallway to the left, to the right, and straight forward. As you proceed, goblins that you had observed through arrow slits of those turrets that are buttressing this front entrance of the fortress, they had peered at you through arrow slits. They now open doors behind you, and they peer at you, and they have a look, just because something's happening. But you continue.
As the drow kind of shakes his head, and as we wait there for a moment, I say, you do Iano. I speak out, and I say, you do Iano no respect by not holding out proper light for him. He is no creature that dwells in the darkness. You will wait. And I light a lantern and torch. I just talk. I can, yeah, bitch. I say that to him. Bring kind of torch, and fire comes out and illuminates the darkness. There we go.
Well, that's
we will
better.
proceed. Yeah, after you.
At this point, the drow then turns back and says, Iano, do not control your subordinates. They will walk with my other bodyguards. Continues to walk forward and says,
I laugh at that. I don't give a fuck.
And mind that
You're not
this
the
companion
first.
of yours does not trip on this wire, as he would be into my service earlier than I expected. And he points now to you a trapped, a very thin, like spider wire across the hallway in front, and he points up, and you see like loose rafters and rocks all rigged up, ready to fall should anyone trip on this trap in front. And he steps over and stands by the door.
I quickly should have looked towards the time as like, I'll bring it down a little bit.
Okay, and I assume you'll proceed over this trap that this drow has generously indicated out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just have him proceed.
Trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this trap? Like, what is this? Do I just quickly scan, just very quickly as I walk around? Does it look like I can tell if there is any sort of way that this trap could be sprung? Is it like a log from the sky, from the ceiling?
Yeah, it's a tripwire. It's a tripwire.
And what's it connected to?
So there's a. It seems like it goes like there's rubble hiding the rigging. It seems. So there is rubble upon the left-hand side, where the wire then recedes into, and there must be something beneath that rubble that they've bent the wire around, and that wire now runs along the wall. And similarly, they've looped it above something some hole in the roof where now if someone were to trip on that, it would break and no doubt drop something that was holding the rubble above where this broken roof is, holding it together. So it seems as though if it were tripped, debris of rubble and other stone and wood and things would just come tumbling down to crush any intruder. And obviously alert anyone who would be able to hear such a ruckus.
I'm surprised one of your goblins didn't trip this before. I look around, scuttering.
He says, well, like me, they are filth and they can see in the shadows. Bitting at you.
Good point.
A chuckle at this point. Well, was it proceed through the doorway, or are we just going to stand on ceremony?
Yep, he's opened it, and you're proceeding. And as you walk through this region, this is where the tallest, this is the tall, like very, very tall ceiling. This grand chamber is still all intact. To your left, there is an elaborate looking statuette of um, a very tall individual, and it's very hard to make out the features as it's been ruined. But it's ornate in nature, and there are multiple idols around this hall. There is a ceremonial-looking brazier within the middle of it. Like kind of in the middle of this room, a large ceremonial-looking brazier, and it looks as though something. There are like a mound of ashes now in there, and mixed in with some other objects. Upon the walls, there are some statuettes, some small idols, and things. If anyone is, as you look around these statuettes, it's very clear that this room was built for religious purpose. And looking at the grand statue in the middle, it's kind of this stone block with a statue carved to the middle, but to the left and to the right, there is a curtain behind there as well, and it looks to lead into some kind of antechamber behind it. But as you look around these idols, it seems religious. Anyone in the room, feel free to make a religion check to just have a look at what you're seeing around you.
Piper, what the fuck's that shit?
Total of 14. 24, sorry.
24. Well, you are a learned man. You're looking around. You recognize these idols instantly. It's very easy for you to tell that this keep or this castle, whenever it was in use and in full order, it was absolutely a human dwelling. As you see idols of the following deities. You see an idol of Lathander, the god of dawn, Mistra, the goddess of magic, Timora, the goddess of luck, and there is an idol of Joaquin, all carved into these the walls, or almost like four separate areas. And looking up, there is one main statue that seems to be up there, but it's been ruined and burnt, like it's corroded. And
Does it look like any of
this is
these symbols have been defamed, or is it just like left alone?
No, these idols are fine. They're kind of small statuettes that are carved into the walls, and they actually are still quite intact. And it's quite common in Erseia to be polytheistic, and be able to it's okay to worship and pray to multiple gods. It's not seen as profane unless any gods or dominions are directly in combat or competition with each other, but usually these worshipped gods and deities are part of a pantheon that all are for the betterment of society and have some kind of function. However, there are clashes. But generally it's okay, especially with these such gods of human civilization working in some form of conjunction together.
Interesting. I was saying,
But you just notice that.
continue
You just
walking
notice that
around.
this room has religious purpose, and you're looking at this main statue, just peering at it, and it's kind of like the top half, like almost diagonally from the top of its collarbone now to if you go diagonally across to the bottom of its underarm, that kind of top part is corroded, and you can't really make out what stance it would be in enough to recognize what it is. But it is absolutely that, and it almost seems as though that one was a long time ago intentionally ruined. But there are curtains to either side of that seem to lead to an antechamber. However, you are all traveling past that. Could everyone please make either make a perception check or take your passive score?
Alright, I'll take my passive. As we're just traveling through here, how many other Cretans are there running around? Like, how many
In
goblins?
this room? In this
Or
room?
like even just like walking through this entire place so far. Like,
So
how
you've been
many...
into two rooms so far.
Yeah.
You've been in the main landing hallway, and this is the first kind of main hallway. It's like chamber. In this room, there are none, except anyone who rolled higher than... what's the number? Anyone who rolled higher than 12 or has a higher passive perception than 12?
Yep.
So, what are your scores?
17. Sorry.
17.
No,
17?
no.
Avalok?
9.
9? Is that passive? What's your
No,
passive
that's not
perception?
passive. No, I decided the roll, but I thought.
Oh, no,
Whatever.
you can choose either, though.
Oh, I even say. Oh well, but passive say 14.
14, okay. You all notice and you hear almost like a writhing movement above you as you see a huge slithering creature attached to the roof. And it's now seems to peer down slowly and deliberately, looking at the 4 individuals traveling beneath. Its mouth splits open into 4 separate portions, and inside you see this literally a barbed, savage-looking maw with a small tongue and mouth all there, and on the tail a small stinger as it writhes.
How big is this thing?
Over and through. I would say in length, it's probably 7 to 8 feet.
Okay. Okay.
And it is thick like almost as thick as a small tree. But it's amorphous. It moves almost like a leech.
Hmm.
Its
glance.
its movement is that combined, like a leech combined with a snake.
Yeah.
It's
I glance up at
very
that and
unnatural looking.
falter my step for a second as I then regain composure and I continue walking by Iano's side. Kind of the hairs on the end of my back just kind of sticking out like, am I going to get attacked? Am I going to get eaten now? What's going to happen in the next few seconds? This thing is just...
The drought has nothing. You guys keep walking, and it doesn't seem to descend down on you. But it is watching
I keep walking
all
as well,
of you.
slightly quickening my step actually.
And now you enter another hallway. This hallway is very dark. As you open the door, there is rubble on your left and right, with the rubble now going back into more formed walls that were that have been curtained off on the left and on the right. Just gonna make a... No, that's fine. As this drow individual walks past, you see behind your curtain on the left, you see Osborne and Fenro peering through the curtain. They look at you, and they hold it back for a second, but then they look at you and nod, and they are pointing to the other side, as if they intend to cross over behind you all, and
All right, I
go across.
continue walking in step with Iano, and I just shudder and walk with extreme tension, apprehension of like them fucking up.
Yeah,
I just pray. I just send a secret prayer to our kin that they don't fuck up.
Please, Lady of Gold.
do your thing. At this point, is sort of like, yeah, just to semi-distract the drought and sort of taking us. What I just sort of speak up and say, well, it seems our sentry is still quite fearsome as per usual.
And at this point, the drow says back and says, "Well, Lupo's pet has grown fat." Yes.
Yeah, it was
recently
bigger than
had
last time.
some things we've been able to feed it.
I see.
Can I roll to see if I know anything about those creatures?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll. Just a straight intelligence check, I think. And anyone else can if they wish to as well.
No,
I probably don't know anything about it.
9 plus 1, 10.
10.
Oh,
Okay. I think Avalak knows.
Oh, but I still got to put my intelligence on it. Though, so it's on +3, so yeah.
Yeah, so Parag, unfortunately you're not quite sure. You just know that there's a beastie. Avalak, you know that as a grick.
Oh, yeah.
It is a monstrous creature, an unnatural beast, an unnatural being. And yeah, it's called a grick, and it is nasty as fuck.
Mm.
You know that they prefer to stay near rocks and rocky terrain, and you know, it's quite worm-like in its form and composition, and it's only when like it tends to ambush and wait as it can climb surfaces, and you actually know that it's not just a snake or worm-like creature. It actually has tentacles as well, and is able to grab and hold things that it drops down upon.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. Let's continue working and get
They
away
are
from that as much
horrors
as
that
possible.
drop down and descend upon the unsuspecting.
Oh, like drop bears, yeah.
Indeed. As you proceed through this through this hallway. Rubble on your left, then a curtain, and now going to solid wall on your left, and on your right, rubble, then with loose walls and another curtain on the right-hand side. And from that right-hand side curtain, you can hear a lot of noise, chit-chat and chatter. You hear goblinoid voices shouting and screaming, the clattering of iron, but not light, not like weaponry, more like pots and pans. Anyone would be able to assume there is a host of goblins in the next room or in the next area fixing up a meal. But a lot of them. Hard to tell, just lots. You proceed, and there's a door in front of you. This drow individual leads you through, and as you enter, two hobgoblins immediately stand to attention. As you enter this room, you see in front a small fire and brazier with four loosely put pallets, like sleeping pallets. On the right-hand side of this room, down the end, you see a door that is heavily barred, as if it's meant to be sealed off. On the left-hand side, you see a curtain. These two hobgoblins stand up, and they Vimren, hello, and the drow just waves a hand at them and says, "Keep guard. See that we are not disturbed. We will speak with Groll." And you hear a knock, and you hear still now on the other side of this door. So the drow takes you through a curtain into a small chamber. There's a door in front of you, a door behind you. Just so you can place it within your minds, if you went through this door, you would go into that room behind the curtain that you saw Osborne and Fenro, that you saw on your left going through that hallway.
Yeah.
That's behind you now, because you've kind of gone further up. You're now kind of, if you were looking at a bird's eye of this castle, you're in the top right. You're in the northeastern edge of the castle. You've gone straight through the middle to the end of the middle, and you've turned left to go up into that top edge, and you're now outside the door. And you see this drow that the hobgoblin referred to as Vimren knock on the door. And knocks loudly. Knock, knock, knock. Like, King Groll, you have visitors. Some red brand come to speak with you. And you hear movement on the other side of the door as you hear some thuds, some growls, and the rest, as you see now before you, a towering bugbear, huge, rips open the door, says, "Enter, we'll speak." And he sees, upon seeing Iano, he says, "Come to lick your wounds." And he shuts the door, allowing all of you in. As in this room, there is, you see on the back wall, there is one rather burly-looking hobgoblin standing beside Groll, and actually one of the hobgoblins from the other room has followed in behind and is actually guarding at the door behind you, presumably with the other one on the other side. There's also a large wolf sitting quite obediently and deliberately, patiently, as well as far off into the south, you see the bodies of three dwarves along the far right wall. Two of them have been absolutely dismembered, absolutely cut up, bruised. No doubt they are dead. You see their own blood dried and crusted up upon them. It's difficult to see in the dim light, but you do see the body of another now, a little closer to where Groll was originally coming from and to where he's returned to, is actually slumped up against the stone wall behind.
I do raise the torch so that I can add a little bit more light to the room.
Yep.
A little bit.
Okay. And yeah, this room is also dimly lit, but as you've got a torch, you're actually able to see a little bit. This dwarven-sized body has got it's like slumped face down. Can't exactly make it out, but you may have some ideas. Now standing, and you see a large Groll, Vimren the Drow, a hobgoblin at Groll's side, and one behind as well.
How many people in the room with us?
I think 4.
The 2 hobgoblins, bugbear, and drow, and wolf, so 5. Potentially conscious body of a dwarf, looks to be dead, and the 3 of you.
So wait, the bugbear's not in prison?
No, that's an owlbear. You think I'm not different?
Oh,
It's a
sorry.
bugbear.
Yeah, there's a
I'm
bugbear.
confused. I was like, they
How to get
indoctrinated
out?
the bugbear?
Fucking strong. I say to Grom, "Ah, King Grom. Well, it's good that you allowed us to speak. Seems like you've been busy peering over to the dismembered dwarves."
He says, yes, indeed, the Rock Seekers.
Right.
And you immediately know this to be the clan name of Gundren and his brothers, as you now look upon these dwarven bodies to be the bodies of Gundren in the middle, unconscious, not like bloodied, but not obviously dismembered and dead, and what seemed to be his brothers who had not met yet.
I look at
they
those
are cut up
forms.
and they are slaughtered.
Yeah, I look at those forms and I just assume the worst. Like, yeah, this is bad. We have to get out of here now.
Mhm.
As he's talking, I just want to like take out my flask and start sipping it and just walking over to the bodies as if like not curious, just not listening to what they're saying kind of thing. Just not interested.
As you move towards there, the hobgoblin that was standing near Groll just kind of moves over to the other side in the same way that, like, in Gridiron, like, you know, they've just tracked the player. So he kind of lines up and kind of leans
I
back
follow
on the
behind
wall.
Park as well, just having a
Oh,
look.
that's gonna look so fucking obvious.
Looking over at the dwarf.
And so there
just
is
inspecting, just out of curiosity, just kind of feigning curiosity and inspecting it. Just like, I'm just happen to be walking around here. Oh, what's over this? Oh, they look fucked up.
and this hobgoblin now in front of you. You can see him much taller and more built than a regular goblin. Now it says, "This one refuses to speak the truth. He will not tell us what we wish to know, but we will cut and cut away until we get the truth."
Oh, I
And
pass him. As he's saying that, I pass him my. Oh, no, you keep going, sorry.
Growl roars at him. He says, "Ugh, do not speak out of turn. Silence." And Growl walks over to a large amount of boxes and crates that have fashioned into a large chair for him. He stands at 7 or 8 feet tall. Sits now down upon on this makeshift throne. Says, "All right, speak."
As he's doing that, and I'm looking at the bodies, I want to like pass my flask over to the hobgoblin, like in a kind of I'm in the same place, we're getting our shit kicked on us kind of way.
And
Okay.
why is distracting the goblin? I actually do, and just casually, as if I'm like no care in the world. I do take the torch over and go over to the dwarf and go like kneel down slightly, just squat down in front of him and just inspect him.
Okay,
And just
as
kind
you're
of like,
moving towards there, the hobgoblin that was about to reach out and take this flask moves in front and shakes his head at you, and
what?
and wants
Just
to
having a
stop
look.
you.
I just
He's
point.
just
I just point at my eyes and I look at it. I just point towards the rock, the dwarf, and I just shrug my shoulders at him, just like, what? Just let me through. I want to have a look at this thing.
he's
Is it like
steps
sign
back
language?
half a foot, but he's got his hand on his belt.
And I just nod at him. I just nod at him slowly, like looking him in the eye. I just nod him slowly, and just continue to try and at least walk to the side of him. Not trying to go right around him, but just try to get like as close of a look as I possibly can without obviously pissing him off at the dwarf.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it's dead or not. That's it. That's it.
From here,
Mhm.
even this close, like a couple meters, you can't tell.
No breathing. No.
He looks
no...
beaten up. Actually, from this distance, it'll be you have light because you've got a torch.
Mhm.
You do see faint breath, like the faintest of breath. And it is undoubtedly Gundren Rockseeker.
I just kind of snort quietly to myself and I just turn around and I try and look at Porrick in the eye and just kind of nod to him once and then walk on
I
by.
completely ignore you and continue handing the flask to
The hobgoblin
I walk over to
refuses the flask.
politely, or
Sorry?
like, is it aggressively, like, or he just
No,
kind of
it's
waves
very
it away?
passive. It's just like he looks at you and shakes his head.
Alright, then I take a sip and just turn around and look at the two guys there
And
sitting on the table.
just across from where you are, there's a small table, like a small round table, just with a candle on it. If you guys want to sit there or lean up against it or post up near it, that's kind of like the furniture near there. It's this whole area, this whole keep is very devoid of furniture and fittings. Anything that's anything like that is being like repurposed. So obviously, like this chair that Groll now sits upon, as he had then gestured towards Yano. "Speak, Yano."
Well, wasn't King Grom. As my boys just had a quick look at that dwarf or whatever. If you need him to speak, I'm sure I'll be able to use my magical sort of tricks to be able to give up the information, if you wish, of course, on your word.
He he now he says, He turns towards Vimren, the drow, and says, "What do you say, Vimren? Do you believe Iano, the Lord Iano, could discover the secrets that this dwarf knows?" And at this point now, Vimren comes up to you and looks you up and down, looks at the glass staff, is raising a hand, and says, He is of much ability, yet I am too. We shall see." And Vimren now extends a hand over to Gundren as he's unconscious there. And
As he
then
walks,
the hobgoblin standing guard now edges back against the wall and opens the floor as Vimren now starts to slowly lead you towards the body of Gundren Rockseeker. And as you do approach it, Avalok, you do realize that this is the man who hired you and Tiber probably now 2 weeks ago, nearly.
As Ayano like stands and walks over to where I just was, and I just kind of fall back in line behind him. If I do manage to get a glance at him, I will look him in the eye and just casually just nod once, and then fall back in line. So we'll try and get his attention just just a side glance, just nod once.
Okay.
I catch it. I'm still sort of fixated on the body itself, but I do catch the sort of glance and understand. It was like, yeah, no, it's still alive, just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
And
so.
just to paint you a picture, you guys are now kind of if you're in a room, and you're looking at a bird's eye down of the view of a room. It's a round room, like rounded. You're in the bottom right against the wall.
How big is the room? Sorry.
The room is about like 12 meters. It's a big one. It's like 10 to 12 meters around. Quite large. So there will be pockets of darkness where there's no light. However, as Tiber is holding a light, you you guys are in the bottom right of the room. Grohl's chair setup is kind of on the right-hand edge in the middle. There seems to be makeshift beds on the top left of this room. The door is on the bottom left, kind of far on the left, and a little bit up from the bottom. And there is actually another door on the other side. So the door you entered, there is another door, probably another 5 meters down to your left from the door you entered.
So was it? Yeah, getting walked over to the the alive person, Gundren Roxy itself. I say to the drow, well, if you allow me to go first, because I imagine, if you attempted your magics already, why haven't you got it? Strange.
A smile comes up at that, but I don't say anything.
I yawn and go and sit at the round table and pull out a pack of cards and start playing a solitaire game with myself.
Okay. The drow just kind of squints at you, and as you approach Gundren, you can actually see there are touches on his hands and on his face where he has seemingly been electrocuted. Clearly, the magic of this drow has been about pain, different kinds of pain, rather than any actual kind of divination, to speak.
Yeah, and then seeing sort of this damage done, like, oh, you employed torture. You know torture doesn't work. You only use torture if you want to gain some kind of pleasure, not get information. As I sort of saying towards the drow, but also was it sort of projecting my voice back to a Grom as well, so I can sort of hear it. If you really want to get the information, there are certain spells you should know to be able to get the information, if you will, of course.
Vimren just glares at you and says, "Well, begin the lesson, my lord."
Why, thank you, I shall. And
My grip around my torch tightens slightly as I. I can't wait to throw this thing. I can't wait to just set this guy on fire with it.
just throw the fucking torch.
I just want to torture him so badly. It's just seething with hatred against this filthy drow and this filthy practitioner of the occult and necromancy. This horror, this abstained wretch. How dare he have the audacity to live and breathe? And I just sit there quietly looking at him, just thinking all this in my head. And I just
Groll then speaks and says, "We need to know who else has seen the map. Who else knows the location of the mine,
But of course.
and who else may be looking for him."
Yes, and as you will see was a Grom, there I shall get the information for post haste. And at this moment I was at cast upon Gundren, was it detect thoughts.
Okay.
So kneeling down towards Gundren himself and placing my hand was upon my focus, but also his head itself.
Okay. And you conjure this casting, and you place your hand out, and you focus on Gundren. The spell reads that you initially learn the surface thoughts of this creature, what is most on its mind at this moment. His mind has been beaten up. They've beaten his body to the point where his mind is in the fetal position. He is in immense pain. He believes he is going to die.
And I sort of
the only reason, and for now, that's all you know.
And in sensing sort of this, I'll look up the drow again and say, oh, well, now you've just made the job even more difficult. I have to appear a bit further than I would have to if he was conscious. And as I look back down, I wanted to continue the spell.
Okay. What is your spell DC?
My spell DC is what I believe is 13.
Okay. So he rolled a whiz save with disadvantage as you peer in. And what are you trying to find out?
Well, the first thing is probably... Well, now the interest of Grom's actually mentioned about sort of mine and everything else. So if it just happens to have stake or whatever, so I have a bargaining chip later on, in case things go right, to actually find out where the mine is and if he knows of anyone else other than ourselves that's seen the actual map itself.
Okay. So you're trying to know if anyone else has seen the map or knows where the mine is?
Where the mine is, yeah. But also trying to figure out where the mine is actually as well.
Okay, you can only get one answer per.
Oh, okay.
All
right. Well, because I can just fake, blah blah blah. No one else has sort of seen. I want to know where the mine is.
Okay. So you probe and you want to find out where the mine is, and you peer in to the you peer into his mind, and obviously this spell is not a visual based spell. You only get the knowledge and the thoughts coming back. It says foothills of the Sword Mountains, past, over, around, through, and you can hear the way to the mine now being described to you. And you now more or less have, I would say, loose verbal directions to the wave echo mine.
And definitely, and sort of hearing this and to make it seem like I've actually been trying to detect if anyone else has sort of known about the mine itself, I sort of speak. I'm like, well, considering how long Gundren's been here, and anyone with any deduction skills, they'll determine no one else knows where the mine is.
You can hold the spell for up to a minute if you wish to keep procuring information. You can make one attempt every 6 seconds.
Or I'll throw it in quickly over the party. You want to know anything?
Are you asking
do you
me?
say that?
No, I don't say that. Just like outside the game itself.
Well, it's up to you.
No,
It's
fair
up to
enough.
you.
I have lots of questions, but I can't answer. That.
No, fair enough. Right. Oh, actually, that's the thing too. Does Gundren? I imagine he's like been around to the castle itself, or whatever. Does he know of like the numbers of sort of creatures? I guess like the.
What was your spell DC?
13.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So what do you need to know?
Like, does he know of any extra sort of monsters and
Around this
such
castle and this kid?
Yeah, that we don't know of. Yeah.
He knows there's an owlbear. He's been threatened with an owlbear. He's been threatened with a grick. He's been threatened to be thrown to the goblins or to be sacrificed to their god in the antechamber.
Interesting.
Otherwise, all goblins.
All goblins.
As well as Groll and his pet wolf.
Right, I want to see also, does he know anything about the Venom Fang? And
okay,
so scribbling known beforehand. Oh, that's tough.
His mind closes off. As even in his unconscious state, his mind is on the defensive.
I imagine that sort of pulls me out of the
Yep,
spell.
and the spell ends.
And I sort of awaken again, or was it shaking my head like, oh. Well, no, it doesn't seem he actually knows anything. He's been too brutally beaten to be able to get him some more information.
Roll a deception check.
Oh no. I'm good at deceiving people. Oh, fuck.
Fuck!
I should have said potent dice. Shit. Oh, well, darn.
Oh, you can do that. You can do that after the roll.
That's a roll. What?
Yeah, well, that's the way potent dice work.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I had to say it before I made the roll that I was going to use my potent dice. Like that's how it works.
Pretty sure you can just drop them in. It's like those potent dice are like your main class feature, so I'm pretty sure like you're allowed to just drop them in. Let me just check.
Well, then.
Potent.
Am I still here?
Oh yeah, no, you're right, Rue. Yeah, you gotta do it before.
Before I do this
Right.
one. It was 2 with like +1 because I'm not very good at.
All right. That is gonna be a. What was your total? 3, wasn't it?
3. Yep.
Yeah. At this point, Vimren, the drow creature, hisses at him. He's lying. He knows something.
No, what exactly? What, that you beat him to a pulp that he doesn't actually know anything more? I'm sorry, was it? This drow itself and all that, he's been using his dwarf for a test dummy for his spells. So I'm telling you everything I know.
Okay,
As he's getting aggressive, I'm going to be like, I'm standing up on my seat and not standing up on my seat. I've moved up from my seat. Now I've turned around and I'm leaning against the table looking at both of them.
And both the hobgoblin also and the wolf also kind of ready their positions. As Iano, make a persuasion.
I used my potent dice this time.
Okay. Yeah,
but I still got to roll.
Persuasion.
There you
so
go.
you just tell me the number.
Cool. Well, instead of that is a 20.
Because Oh, so you had a
Yeah.
20. Oh no, you had a number.
I
and
had
you add
I
your
had a
persuasion.
19, added a persuasion, which is I'm pretty sure it was only
Okay.
+1 for persuasion.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah.
At which point Groll raises his hand and now towers between the two of you, and he says, "Vimran, Iano he is a great mage. You will respect him as our leader has tasked him with much." And at this point, Vimran backs off, glares at you, and Groll says, "Well, if he knows nothing, we can kill him."
Just
And he then nods to the hobgoblin, and the hobgoblin pulls out a sword, and
at this point, I
now
just say,
begins to walk over to Gundren with his sword out.
and I just say there was a Grom. But
No.
before we was to take any sort of more violent action, I would imagine maybe this is on the realms of possibility, but a very good possibility that if we were able to, I'd say at least a day or whatever, to nurse this dwarf back to reasonable health and all that, still have prison under our sort of control, I might be able to get more information from him.
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage.
Fuck, and I don't have my other opponent dice is shit, so come on, Roland. Oh, 11, so 12. Oh, yeah, no, I gotta do it again, don't I? Yep, hang on. Come on. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, 12 either way.
The 12.
Oh.
And Groll puts his hand up. So wait. Iano, there's no point. We already know what we need to know. We have the orders from our master. What more could we possibly want to know? You found everything, didn't you?
Well,
You said
that's
he knows
30
nothing.
gold. 30 gold.
I look
What?
over at Park. What?
What?
I want the dwarf.
and I say it was back to there's a bounty on this dwarf?
Oh, I know someone who wants the dwarf, and I want to pay for him. I'll give you 30 gold, sir.
Groll now looms forward and says, "He is not yours. It's my responsibility to make sure he dies.
He will
No
be
one
dead.
else can know what he knows. This knowledge cannot escape."
He will be dead. Trust me. I want him, and I will pay for him. I think that's quite simple.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Are you actually asking for the corpse?
No, I want him now. I want to take him.
Like unconscious?
Yeah.
Yeah, Groll's not having a bar of it. Groll said, "He cannot be allowed. That knowledge cannot escape."
Wait,
And he now nods back
What
to
Park is distracting? Yeah,
he nods back to the hobgoblin. He says, "Kill him."
Wait, and I go, wait.
And he's
forgi-
what?
Forgive what my subordinate just said. No, this is the thing. Okay, we want to make sure our leader knows exactly every single detail as possibly he needs to know, correct? And we need to do our job thoroughly because we don't want to face his wrath. I think, I'm sure that if you give me a single day, I shall take this pathetic little dwarf away and all that. I shall put him in a secure location. I shall get the information we need, and when I get the information we need, I will bring him back here in front of you so you can kill him yourself and be done with the entire situation.
That's no different. I will not allow you to take him away.
Right.
I have orders
But
from our master, the spider. You must remain here. If you wish to do your magics, do them here. It is secure here.
right. Well, fair enough then. So, I will need a secluded room within the castle itself to be able to properly perform my arts.
He says, "Well, if you must, you can use this chamber." Or he now opens the other door. He walks over across the room, opens the other door, and opens to a small opening. He opens that door, and it's just a small, I would say 4 meter by 4 meter room,
Mm.
or yeah.
Is there any?
It's quite
oh,
small,
Yeah, it's quite small.
and
Yeah.
it's a closed-in room.
Right. So no other way in and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
But it's completely unused.
I think
He
this
says,
would be acceptable.
You could use this chamber.
That was a look. I was like, yeah, this will be acceptable, of course. Well, I will need a little time to prepare myself, of course, and I'll get my men to move Gundram in there immediately, and I just whistle, boys, get the body.
All right.
I'll walk over. Look over. He's chained to the wall, right?
No, he was more or less just bound.
Bound. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I start, working away at getting him cut loose from the wall. However, I do not unband.
No, he's not. He's not bound. He's not tied to the wall. He's just
Okay.
bound, like
Okay.
like his legs and arms are. And you can see he's sustained many injuries to his limbs.
Yeah. All right. I walk over. I just wait for Porrick to come and help me with this thing. This thing's way too heavy for me to move alone. That's for sure.
He's a stout little dwarf. But between the two of you,
No, before I go, I like kind of get my cards and like put them up into a pile, and then like wander over. And then as I'm walking over there, I'm like, oh goddamn dwarf would have made a good slave. I really need a dwarf slave. And I'm picking it up and like.
I grab
no
I
one
grab
wants
one
to
arm.
sell me a
I grab
fucking
onto his one arm. He probably Porrick on the other side, and I still have the torch in the other hand. And I just start moving it.
yeah. So you're kind of dragging him, like his feet drag. As Porrig mentioned the slavery, the drow is just kind of nodding, saying, slavery." Like you can see
As
approval.
I hear him say that, I don't.
No,
you
he
don't
doesn't say
have
anything.
any
He doesn't say anything. He's just kind of nodding.
Okay, as he's nodding, I look at him. I'm like, "You sure you don't have any slaves for sale?"
he just Vimran says, "We don't trade in slaves. Our plans are beyond that right now.
Okay, well, if
Come
you find
back.
slaves,
Come back next time. Perhaps we'll have some prisoners."
okay. Yeah, I want a dwarf one as well. I'm walking up, dragging the body away.
And he says back, "I wish I'd known. I would have kept one of these wretches alive, but I needed their lives to learn what I could."
Oh, fucking shit happens.
Oh, that's funny.
Alright, we
Okay, and you
drag
take
him
him
wherever
into this
we're.
room, and
And we sort of walk in and I sort of turn around. We'll, as I said, we'll need a bit of privacy, so I shall close the door, and we shall.
okay,
And maybe a dance. So.
And Iano's guards, do you post up at the door? Do you follow him in?
I need you guys to come in.
I assume we'll need to get him set up, so we'll drag the dwarf inside.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you start to situate him, and and
no, I'll walk
down
towards
by the door and
itself. And I call to you as you two,
as
like
you're-
come in as well.
do you go to close the door?
Yeah. Oh, if they're in the room, yep. I'll close
as
the
you
door.
do, you do see one of the hobgoblin now walking towards the door, just kind of to stand next to the door.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the room. We've got
You're
Gundram.
alone in a room with an unconscious Gundren Rockseeker.
And
And there's no one else in the room.
No,
walk around.
it's literally just a small, like, this is a small room. It's like the size of like almost like a bathroom at a pub. Like
Is there anything inside here? What's inside here?
it's starkers. This is like so there's like a part of the wall, like the solid wall that was backing this area of the keep. It's actually like there's collapsed in from the ceiling, and there's rubble towering all the way up, going, and then the boards and ceilings above have been kind of sealed in loosely. There's like loose floorboards, like nailed in and bolted in. So it's a sealed in room, but it's
sealed in. So there are no windows. There's no exit or entrance outside from the door.
No, you imagine that this would have been some kind of like storage area or something.
Like a storage room. Okay.
But it's bare. I mean, yeah.
Completely bare. Okay.
I'll just say, well, we've gotten this far.
I hold up my finger to my mouth. I point towards the door, and I have a worried look on my face, and my eyes are a bit stark and widened, but I don't say anything.
Hmm.
As let's horror, let's get this place cleaned up, so the Yano can write the ritual circles. Come on.
Is the door closed?
Yeah.
It is closed.
I start
Oh, you do realize-
making as
I
loud of
put,
a
I
noise
put
as
my hand
possible.
up and I look over to Avalok, and it's like,
Hmm.
you do realize the spell's just about to wear off, Avalok, don't you?
No,
No,
you're
it
incorrect.
hasn't been very long. You're about, yeah, it's only been like,
It's
Probably-
only an hour though, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been
I
less
mean,
than an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been like an hour of like out of game time.
yeah, no, but we're going at a slow pace for descriptions and things, so it's probably about halfway through at this
Okay.
point.
Hmm.
Then I won't say anything.
I just
I start making scraping noises. I try to make as much noise as possible, just ambient low noise.
Hmm.
I don't know if
Mhm.
you guys have any grades of insight. You probably know what I'm trying to do. Let's get this place cleaned up. Come on, let's rubble moved over here, and start like making noise with my foot, just so I can make some ambient noise. Make some noise. So they
Listen,
can't hear our words.
actually,
Can't speak.
quick question about like what the the owlbears and growl and the rest and all that. I imagine they sort of speak like Orcish and dwells Elvish for common and stuff like that. Do any of them know Dwarvish? Would I presume? Would I presume that I would know that the people sort of outside would know Dwarvish as a language? Not to know what I sort of presume.
Make this a straight. Anyone who wants to figure this out, make straight intelligence.
Yeah, cool. 1, and then that's with 3, so it's a 12.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, they're not dwarves, so you presume no.
Hmm.
I dig out of my pack some parchment, a quill, and some
Oh,
ink,
right.
and I present that forth to Avalok with the words written very quickly in Elvish or in common actually.
Isn't common.
Probably easiest for Porrick here. If you can read, I don't know if you can.
I don't say I can, but what are
plan
you
question
saying?
mark.
Yeah.
Plan question mark. I write that on the piece of paper and I hand it over to
Hmm.
Avalok.
Actually, while you guys are formulating, do you mind if we go into break mode a bit? Because I actually also want to just simulate the other party as well, and also just get a snack and do a couple other things.
Okay.
Cool.
Is that alright if
Okay.
I leave you guys to do some planning and stuff? I'm going to sit here and do some rolls for
Yeah, sure.
for the owlbear attempt, and
Okay.
yeah, sorry, so I'm just going to be a bit distracted, so just yell
Yeah,
out if you
that's
need me,
fine.
and then maybe after I think we maybe go for a quick break. I could really use a snack.
Okay. So with the power tree sort of give to me, I sort of write down as a perhaps. And like I sort of write it down, but we'll just say like we're sort of talking, having conversation, just to make it.
Yeah, right.
And I sort
Using
of
small words.
write perhaps deception. I use it with a magic once again.
Mhm.
Uh,
I look at those words and I
and then
I shake my head and well maybe I shake my head and something comes to my face as if I'm thinking of something else, and I quickly grab the parchment from you and the quill and I ask location map slash location map slash forge. I write that question mark and I hand it to you.
and I just write down I know where it is, but I don't want to like write it on the parchment just in case.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
you're right.
I have an no. So I write. I have an idea where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sort of was continue to say with magic deception, as I mentioned beforehand, I could we could pretend Gundren's body was a fake.
And you write that down. It's just like my eyes go wide, and I just wrote down. I'll take a parchment from you. Write on the back now, as it's now full of scribbles, and I hurriedly write while also walking around and pretending to make noise and occasionally speaking and saying things like, "Over here, we need to hoist them up against there. Let's get them cleaned up." I just like talking about like doing some sort of ritual, some sort of spell in here, so it looks like we're working. We're getting ready. But I take the parchment and I write on it. We leave without the dwarf. Escape.
And I sort of read this and tilt my head sort of slightly.
Then I look over and just kind of motion towards the dwarf and just kind of raise my hand at it, like presenting it forward before you, and I point towards the mess he's in, the horrible, almost crippled legs, his unconscious state. I just look at him, and I look at you with a grimace to my face. And I just shake slightly, looking a little bit sad, but just and I just shrug my shoulders.
I sort of get the parchment once again, sort of write on it. Well, just for consideration, I could use one of my spells called a rope trick to hide the Gundren's body in another like little dimensional sort of pocket, and we could I hide it there, and then we could go out there, bursting and saying we're being tricked, we're being deceived. The drow has used magics to foil the master as well as us, and he's hidden his body, but it would have to sell that deception.
I read that long paragraph of words. I look up and I slowly shake my head, my eyes serious and wide, presenting an aura of worry and shock and horror at this plan. I say, and I wrote underneath that, I just cross it out. I just write madness underneath that. Escape, I write.
And I sort of say the madness.
Nothing we can do.
Mm.
Monsters, beasts, death imminent. I write that quickly.
True. And at this point as well, I write the only other alternative, other group. Hopefully, Owlbear causes distraction. Maybe able to escape during madness.
Announce intention to leave. I write. You are Iano. Decide to leave. To return after time. I look like frustrated as I'm like trying to write down in as little words as possible, as now we've reused up the entire side of his parchment.
I pull out another parchment for us. Just
I look relieved. A wash of relief comes across my face as I then finish writing, because now like at the end of that it was like tiny words and almost illegible.
And so then like it goes off to the edge and it's all like writing different ways on it.
As well, you were writing standing up as well, so and also trying to seem like we're not, we're doing something in here. I write, let us announce that we need to return with components for ritual. We escape. We leave. ... Exclamation mark.
So I take the compartment and leave Gundren. I head back.
No choice. I write. Death otherwise.
And I just had the piece of paper and I sort of pull it down a little bit and just looked at it like, and sort of that it's the most logical course of action, sort of.
And I write, take that, and I write, you know, Spellforge. Dot. We must leave.
And sort of, oh, I think Podrick's disappeared as well. They self-muted.
Oh, actually, I don't write Spellforge. I write Forge.
Forge, yeah. Just
Forge.
Forge, and so I'm in agreement at this point.
Indeed.
And sort of
Prepare
well,
ourselves.
I think, and then I write down, well, for Gundram's sake, do you think we should kill him softer than these things would?
See a pained expression come across my face as I read these words. And I write, too suspicious. Leave as is. And hand it to you. A look of grimace and sadness across my features, but seriousness.
Hmm.
I
Perhaps
shake my head.
it's distasteful for me to leave something like this in such a form, but well, then I sort of write, perhaps I was a cast sleep and hopefully doesn't awake during its killing.
I read that. I don't write anything. I just look at you and shrug sadly.
Hmm. Oh, and also was it Podrick one? And I sort of was hand a bit of paper to Podrick and say you can. So as they say,
I just look at it blankly. I have no idea what it says. It's in Elven.
No, it's in common.
It's common.
Oh, okay. I thought you put it in Elven.
No.
No, I decided to write in common.
Yeah. So what does it say?
Oh, just
basically a basic plan. We're discussing a few things, hastily written. Most of it is illegible, actually, but a bit at the end is, we must leave Gundren here. We know location of Forge. We too dangerous. And then something like, should we kill Gundren before we leave? Mercy. And then there's more writing, saying no, we should leave. It is too suspicious. Leave for components. Leave. Say another day. Come back. And that's basically what you write. And then he asks at the end, very end, it's should make Gundren sleep. And that's pretty much it.
Mm.
We leave. I point towards the words. Alright. We're pretty much finished here, I say out loud.
Oh, right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, so basically just, maybe was it cast as a spell and was it Gundram wanted to make him sleep, so, maybe he'll sleep for his murderings. So we gotta leave him here.
Oh, we're just leaving him here.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it says
might
on
have
the
to.
Yeah. We're saying it's too dangerous. Basically, a summary, another summary. It's too dangerous to take Gundren with us. He's horribly wounded, crippled. We must escape monsters, danger. We leave, say we come back for components for spell. We leave. We have to leave.
That sucks.
Channel switched.
What?
That's not gonna work.
Botsy.
Botsy, yeah, I'm trying to get my battle bard thing to work. So I can play the music.
Okay, I'm just muting Botsy for now. It's
Yeah.
it's working.
Oh, it should already be muted.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll fix
So
it later.
while you guys were talking, some things happen. You hear some voices. You hear Groll and Vimrin talking, and you hear Groll say, "In the meantime, why don't we continue negotiation?" Very muffled. And Vimrin does not speak as loudly as Groll. Upon hearing this, make perception rolls, hearing based, if anyone has any bonus to that.
To be fair, I probably wouldn't be trying to listen in. I probably would have no intention of doing that.
You don't have to roll.
I'd be too flustered with
Yeah,
this.
you would have some passive perception, obviously, if you're
Yeah, my passive
person?
perception is 17, so if
Okay.
I do hear anything because of that, but I'm not seeking
Yep.
to.
Yeah, you hear then kind of the raspy, silkier voice of Vinrin. They go, "It should not be for sale. You had an order from the master, and I've come here to collect. I've been here for 2 days now. I do not want to wait any longer." You just hear them begin to talk about the negotiating of a price, and Vimren now says again, "Just give me the map." And
Wait, who's out there?
Groll and Vimren,
Wait, aren't they the two
they are.
roles that
One's a
you just
bugbear,
killed?
one's a drow.
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm getting confused. Which one's a necromancer? Necromancer isn't out there.
The necromancer is a drow.
Yeah, it's a drow. Like, that's the one who took us
in.
in.
Vinrin.
Fucking bugbear.
Right.
No, there
Well,
isn't
we
a
could kill
bugbear.
them both now.
There is a bugbear. Groll
Oh yeah,
is a
sorry, yeah.
bugbear.
Groll's a
Groll the
bugbear.
bugbear, yeah.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He's
And
just...
then there's 2 hobgoblins in there, guards, and then the wolf.
Yeah.
Right, well, I want to,
But while that's going on, this is all kind of occurring, and you then hear far off a cry and a shriek and a roar of an owl bear. As
We leave
Have the
now,
song
we
for this.
run, I say. As,
Here you go. Everyone listen to this music. There you go. Keep going.
as
now. I say
as you hear
and
very, very
depart.
faintly, like very, very far off. If anyone was like actively paying attention, you would have heard it. Otherwise, you would have just could have been the whistle of the wind. But it was there. It was real, and the negotiation immediately stops. And you hear the other door open. You hear movement of the guard in front of you. Knock on your door and say, "We're under attack!" And the door opens, and
I was like, was it by whom? What's going on?
And no, he's
he just
knocked
walked
out
off.
run and he's just bailed to fall in line with the others. As
Grab the dwarf and it's time to go, I guess.
Hang on, there's like,
It's too heavy.
just check out the door.
Leave him.
Are the rest of them still in the adjacent room? Or they've all
so
walked out?
both the goblins, Vimren and Vimren and Groll are kind of trailing behind, but the hobgoblins and the wolf have raced out of the door. Absolutely bolted. They're in the next room now. And you can see now Vimren dashing and Groll kind of towering behind. You feel slight shakes in the stone beneath your feet as he lumbers out, and he yells out, says, "What is this?" And then you hear the roar of the owlbear again go, "Yeah!" Like it's screeching out, and then kind of as that screech like whittles out, it's now kind of it like winds out to a deep high pitch and then stops for a second before a deep roar comes from its belly, making an otherworldly sound that kind of shakes everyone, and everyone is immediately aware that the owlbear is loose, and Grohl just goes, "The beast is loose!" and starts bounding towards it, and he roars, and you hear kind of this,
Avalok, let's escape now! Let's get out of here.
Damn it.
and
Fine.
they are racing down towards, and what do you guys do? You're still kind of in your room at your doorway, seeing Vimren and Groll now depart the room as well.
I'll be honest, I kind of want to go and fight the owlbear.
Well, you can fucking do it by yourself.
I like looking out, I look into the room and I look at the door. I'm like, well, if we want to go, I guess now's the time to go.
Yes.
Let's go. Behind him. We'll split off and just leave. Let's go. I start.
Mm.
If Avalok doesn't move, I start pushing him.
Are we
Okay.
taking the dwarf?
Are
No,
you okay?
I
think so,
start
but-
leaving without the dwarf. I just walk out the room.
And
And
as,
Okay.
follow the...
So in behind Groll?
Yeah, basically trailing him, like 20
so
meters
you're a
behind.
little ways
yeah.
off. You're a little ways off because he's quite ahead of you.
Yep.
I'm
and
going to say
as-
because of the way things are going to start moving here, everything's going to happen like I want to track time here. Roll initiative.
alright.
But yeah.
Unless there were any like initial things you guys wanted to do.
I literally. Oh,
Um,
no.
before this happens, I see him going out the door. I want to rush over to the dwarf and suffocate him. 'Cause we're just gonna leave him here.
Yeah, well, I was gonna cast sleep on him, but yeah, fair enough. Like,
I don't see the murder take
So
place.
what-
I just
what-
look at the nature.
What are these rolls for?
initiation. I thought.
Initiative.
Oh, yep, cool. Nice, Ru. Cool. So, see, I'm gonna say you probably have to take like I'll just say you take like a surprise round or like maybe not even that, but you just like it's gonna take your action. You'll be one action behind everyone if you choose to do that.
That's right.
If
'Cause I've
if
got
rounds
other
if
things I
rounds
wanna
are
do with
6
the dwarf.
seconds, I mean it's gonna take at least 20 to 30 seconds to choke someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
Wait. If we leave, they're gonna know that we weren't who we are we?
Oh.
Who are you asking?
Yeah, I'm not saying shit.
Yeah, we'll just like, well,
No,
we'll
no.
just,
I go to Avaloc. If we
Right.
leave now, they're going to know that we're not who we are, aren't they?
Oh, in the confusion.
They
of
won't.
the-
It won't matter. Let's just leave.
Go, get out! And I take my dagger out and I go to stab it through his eye. Because they're gonna know anyway.
Okay, are you doing that while they're in the room, or are you waiting, or?
No, as they're walking out, I'm walking over to him to stab him. Yeah, like as quickly as I possibly
I,
can.
Okay.
I just walk out, so I'm not. I don't see
Yeah,
that.
you guys aren't present. Avlock, you're moving out.
I see like as he runs up and Wizard stabs him through the head or neck or wherever he's going to stab him.
Well,
So
we'll
the-
see. Were you waiting for the?
No,
to
I
leave?
just
Nah,
don't give a
he's gonna
fuck. I
stab
want
him.
them to
Cool.
go.
Yeah, cool. All
If
right,
I see it,
you
then I'll
just-
walk out. Just fucking.
stop him. You silence him. Yeah. Gungeon Rock Seeker is dead.
Does he have anything on him?
Do you take time to
Fucking use.
This is fucking D&D, man. Fucking loot the body. Just of course loot the fucking body.
loot?
Does he have
Shit,
anything
no.
on him?
This dude's a prisoner.
Shit.
Like he's in rags and shit. He's just in his clothes. He doesn't have anything on him.
Take his teeth. You can sell it for $2.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
so, well, as they're walking out, I'm like, oh, I'll catch up with you guys. Go.
I was like, all
Alright,
right,
let's go.
Alright, right,
I
let's-
see you falter. I'm like, let's go.
right. Let's leave, and Wizard quickly Wizard soldier off. And
How long does that form last? I say
I've
quickly.
only got another like.
You've got another
15
like
minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I start torch out in front. I start leading the way. I kind of glance over the backseat. Park's following us, but if he doesn't, I continue to walk down. But I do glance over the.
Yeah, we're
Hope
we're
the
sort of
park
like
is gonna
quickly
come forward.
walking, but in the sort of motion of like the entire cast sort of feel whatever, and looking out for the fucking
Yeah.
Albert
Yeah.
one appear. As well.
Okay.
Oh.
So, you see, now the two goblins that were in your room, the wolf, and now Groll bounding up to this owlbear, getting ready to assault it, and
Oh, we see it. We see the owlbear.
yeah, so well, it's difficult to see because you're in a dark lit hallway, and this was the room before Groll's chamber. And there are a crowd of people in front of it, but the owlbear is monstrous, and it is rearing up on its hind legs. It's towering and it's ferocious. It has, and again like a little difficult to see in this light, but it has like brown feathers mixed with like a fur underneath body with kind of spotted, obviously owl-like patterns on its on the top of its body. A huge, its body is just, it is enormous. and it is thrashing around, and you can see that its beak is bloody, and there is a couple of bodies in front of it.
Hmm. Well, I catch a glance at the bodies, but I'm not going to spend the time to try and identify them, or
Ooh.
even. I see this. I see the form, and I just. If Avalok's taking the lead, if not, then I'll take the lead. I'll just basically start walking around the perimeter of this beast, try and take out its sight.
Okay,
If I can
so
go, if I can walk down another hallway,
I'll draw you guys a quick
completely, then I
sketch.
will.
Yeah, I really actually would.
Basically, I just want to stealth by it and just return back to the front of the castle or to an exit. That's basically what I want to do. So
Yeah, so it's kind of, this is
That's
down towards the other end of the room where the owlbear is. It's kind of just out of this chamber where it was imprisoned. It's kind of standing in the doorway. That group of creatures is attempting to corner it and kind of poke it back in and rear it up, but this thing is fucking ready, bloodlusted. The door is close to you, and you would be able to creep across.
Before they go into the room to the next one, I want to have a look at the throne. Is there anything on the throne?
Roll investigation.
18 plus 2. Yep, plus 2, 20.
You search between the stacks. The stacked, yeah, sorry, I've actually got. You search between the stacks of these boxes, and quite crudely, under the box is a number of things, and I have it all written down on a page that I will get for you. But yes, you do
I'm
find.
getting the boss's loot base. Don't you worry about me.
You're mad.
So as you lift up these, on the bottom one underneath, it's like a half box and it's open, but it's got an open frame. It has inside of it 180 silver pieces, like a huge sack, like it's a stitched leather. Like, this is a heavy thing. It has actually, it's got a number of coins. I'll tell you the amount when you take time to count them. I'm not actually going to tell them because two would seem to be exotic liquid vials.
Excellent.
And a ruined, or partially ruined map. There's no case for it or anything, but there is a map there as well.
Excellent. Well, I grab that stuff and I'll fuck off.
Okay, so you're a little bit behind. You're like a little bit behind him. Avalok and Tiber, how are you attempting to cross here?
I'm sneakily and around the big group.
The safest way to get around the beast, or maybe go down a corridor and an exit. Basically, we're just trying to leave. So
I'm just going to bring you guys to a fresh page and do a quick sketch for you, if that helps, because I think it might help in this scenario.
Yeah, because what I'm hoping is like where we've got the Grom and the rest, his party, what I like fighting the owlbear itself, be like around the back of them, so they're away from the owlbear.
So think of it this way. Sorry, this is going to be. Oh shit! What's this doing? Oh fucking. Does anyone know how to draw with this thing?
Yeah, you just go over the square and then just go freehand.
Freehand. Regular. Doesn't seem to be working for me, but I'll have a crack. Okay, is that working?
No.
So.
Yeah,
there we
go. There it is.
Okay, so think of it like this, and you don't really know what's down here, but like this would be the doorway that the owlbear is in. That space is a doorway where the owlbear is in. This is that area. This larger one is that main area that you guys were just all in together. This is, sorry, very crudely drawn. This was the storage room you were just in. There.
Mhm.
This is the door you entered Grohl's chamber in. This is that throne. Sorry. Oh shit. This is all rubble. Like all around here, like that whole area is like rubble, and it kind of that wall kind of congeals with that in a collapsed heap down from the ceiling. That closes off there. And this kind of comes around here. So the owlbear is like down here on the X. That group of people is like here. That wall's off there. And then it kind of goes off here. And this was now going back to the room where and then this kind of goes back into that religious room.
Yeah,
And
so
it's like that hallway.
I assume basically it's just like whatever roll you need us to roll in order to stealth our way or escape.
Yeah,
We just
you can
want to
attempt
leave.
stealth. It is dimly
That's
lit,
it,
so you
so-
are able to attempt stealth.
Yeah, so I'm not
Okay.
trying to hide into the shadows. I'm just trying to like avoid.
Yeah, so just move quietly and quickly, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm
Alright.
gonna you go and roll okay, Parag, that stealth will be for when you do move. You're
I
just
haven't-
actually still back in the room looting. Oh,
Yeah, so I roll at the same time because I'm with Tiber, or
yep,
they're just,
yep.
yeah.
So and what did you roll? What's your
My
total?
total is 9. I'm wearing scale mail. That's disadvantage at stealth, so 9 total.
Okay, so
I
roll
got
again.
9.
Oh, sorry, your total was 9 because you rolled it. Gotcha. Avlak, what's yours?
10.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously they all had disadvantage on their perception as they're currently bearing down with an owl bear. You guys actually managed to scurry across, but they do hear some movement behind them. Unfortunately, they've got other things to worry about. You don't even know if they've heard you or not, though.
Most
And
definitely.
you now enter the other one. You now enter the hallway, the long hallway that had the curtains on either side. To the right is the curtain that you saw the halfling and elf approach from on the right. On the left is another curtain, and straight ahead is where you came from, back into that religious room.
Oh, well, I
Alright,
assume.
I glance back, seeing if Porrick is behind us, but he's not yet. But I just
Well,
I just
you
cannot
kind of
wait.
just see him now, kind of coming into that room behind you, about to cross and make that
Is he?
crossing.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
yeah, so I just
you'd see him
continue.
just approaching the doorway, like the 2 doorways ago.
Yeah.
But
So I
you've
see
now
that.
you've moved
I
across.
see
now.
him at least behind. Yeah, I see him behind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I continue to walk forward. I mean, obviously, I'm also keeping an eye for that that torch in front, and I'm looking out for the area where the trap was. I did.
Oh, you're nowhere
I
near
did-
there yet. You're still a
Yeah,
few rooms
no,
off
but
there.
I'm just
Okay.
walking
Are you going to
down
go back
and
the way
just
you
continue
came,
walking
or
down.
you're
Yep.
continuing forward,
Exactly
not
the way
going left
we
or
came.
right?
Most direct path we know to get out.
The way we got in, we're going the exact way out. And
Okay.
we're just going to walk at a steady pace, and yeah, if we can get through, we can get through.
Okay.
So that's our intention.
Okay. So, are you maintaining your seeming stealth?
We just want no, not really. We're just walking normally. We're just like, yep, we're just walking.
in a sort of in a hurried
walking
sort
with
of fashion.
purpose,
Yeah.
in a hurried purpose, but not frantically. We're just walking with steady stride, as if we're like, yep, we've got somewhere to be. We've got a place to go.
Okay.
So we're just walking with that attitude.
So, you go forward, and you're now halfway down this hallway that leads to that religious room. That's what I'll call it.
Mhm.
Parig, you managed to cross without any problems at all.
Do I see anyone dead yet?
Sorry. Do you want to take a second to inspect?
Fuck yeah! I want to see if anyone's dead.
So you've crossed. You're now hidden, and you're in the doorway where you can see Avalak and Tiber ahead of you, kind of halfway down, going forth into that dimly lit corridor. But looking back towards the Battle of the Owlbear, and you now see. Let me see. Plus 7, 16. You then see the owlbear literally just like slash and then come down with its beak and like bite into the Grohl's pet wolf and pull it up in the air and just then lifts it up into the air. You can hear the howl, the squeals of the wolf, like and snap. The wolf is cut in half and it just topples down, and it roars out again like a scream. And as the scream drags out, it then continues with a deep belly rumbling roar throughout that echoes throughout the castle, as immediately one of the hobgoblins then turns around and starts to try and flee before Groll smacks it and enrages and starts to lumber. You are inspecting the bodies at the feet. Now added with a wolf in there, there is another hobgoblin body already at its feet, and the body of an elf that appears to be Fenro, your companion.
How damaged does Thingo look?
Deceased.
No, not Fenro. Grohl. Does he look like he's taken a damage?
Groll hasn't taken damage yet.
Alright, so he looks like he's pretty happy where he is.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
he's none of them are like that was the first round of combat.
Oh, okay. Cool. Right.
That's
Right.
probably the best way I can explain. The wolf was
Well,
one
I'm
shot,
going to
and then you can see them now all charging in, and Groll is now going in to charge.
Oh, I want to watch.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I'll
man, I
watch
need to know.
I want to watch the next round of combat.
Okay, so you're gonna stay.
Yeah.
Okay, Rue and Avalak and Tiber, you now approach the religious room where you saw that beast hanging from the roof, and so you open the door.
I keep
You
my
peer
head
out.
low, and I don't look at it. I don't try to grasp
Well,
attention. I
I'm
just
just-
walk. That's my intention.
Are you actively looking for it?
Nope. I'm keeping my head low. I know it's up there.
Okay.
And it didn't attack us before. and stuff.
Avalak, are
Yeah.
you attempting to search for whereabouts of this beast is?
No, I keep a spider eye around the room
So
to see if
neither
I
of you know where this thing is. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. As you enter the room, immediately you step forward. As it immediately drops down and starts to attack Avalak.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course.
You guys have your initiative orders?
But Avalak is still as a Yano, so
Yes, obviously, as a
Yeah.
Yano. Okay, you still have your initiatives, but this is a surprise round for this beastie. Avalak, it is going to make a weapon attack against you with its tentacles. As you see, it opens its four-cornered mouth. You know, if you've seen Resident Evil, like, you know, it just like opens up its mouth and reaches forward now with a tentacle coming out from its back, and it starts to swipe towards you and lunge towards you. It makes 2 attacks against you.
right. Yeah. So at that same time, my reaction from my staff was activation shield. So I get a +5 with a DC to my 11, so I have 16.
Okay.
As I thudded,
That is
as I said, I just thudded on the ground a
So
little quickly.
It was going to be a 17 to hit, but you've taken, I believe, 5 off it. So you
So beats it by 1.
okay?
Oh.
And that lasts until the start of your next turn.
Yeah.
That would have been a.
But that's a triggered attack, so it triggered when it attacked me. It
Wow.
triggered
Okay.
off it.
Yeah. So both are like, it swipes once with its tentacle, and as it starts to like come across, you raise your staff, and the arcane barrier again forms around you, and it swipes around, and almost like magnetically, it like just loops up above you, and absolutely misses, and then it lunges forward with its whole body, and again, it collides with the arcane barrier and is unable to actually make contact with your form.
Focus on looking at the beast.
You guys had
now.
stepped probably about 3 to 4 meters into the room before it had descended upon you. Obviously, it's you know, upon hearing and being startled by battle or something, it has now grown hungry. Okay, that's its attack. Top of the initiative was Avalak. What do you do in retaliation? It's
Retaliation.
now kind of just writhing, slithering, kind of coiling up its form, shrinking back almost like a leech. It's become fat and is kind of getting ready to leap forward. You can hear it now like hiss and click, like back at you.
Well, was it in retaliation, or was it a step back slightly after taking a sort of blows from the tentacles itself? It was like, was it cast as chromatic? Was it orb upon this thing? So I'm gonna
Okay.
see if I can hit it. I got fucking 8.
So, what do you roll? You're
Oh,
rolling
seven and
7.
plus,
What's your spell attack?
oh god, where's my thing gone?
It's probably like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah, it's
depending
5.
on-
That's 5.
5. Yeah. So you unfortunately does not hit.
Damn. No,
So
sort
whatever
of-
orb you were conjuring, you
Yeah, it was
conjure it,
a-
and you.
Yeah, it was a
slid
fire
forward.
orb, and it just basically because I'm a bit sort of seeing this thing, and it makes
Yeah.
me sort of
And
queasy
actually,
as
because
well
it
as
was
spell.
it's in melee range, so it would have been at disadvantage as well.
Yeah, so yeah, there you
Because
go.
it's a ranged spell attack. So just tell me
so-
what you want to do, and I'll.
Yeah, and sort of the spell was as it sort of casted itself, and the flames sort of like bounced off the side of the wall itself, or whatever, in a complete miss, and. Sad
Okay.
about
And do you
this.
want to do anything with your bonus action or your
Yeah.
movement?
Well, I actually want. I think I can. Yeah. So with my bonus action, I use my. Well, actually, from relation to where I am to the door that we originally came from to come through here when we were walking into the castle. How far away is that?
Pardon? The next door?
The next door.
Yep. It is. So it's probably about 35, 40 feet, and you guys are already a little way in, so you could, like, in your movement, you could get to the next door.
Oh, okay. Well,
And you could probably get through it. You could probably just get, like, to the trap, or maybe just past it.
I misstepped towards the door itself. I'll at least get there to at least 30 feet of it.
Okay. Okay. Let me just... I want to check something really quickly. Because I'm not sure if you can cast 2 spells in one round. I think you can if one's a cantrip.
Oh.
I think it can if both are cantrips, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, they're
I
both
think.
cantrips, that's fine.
Oh, well, this one isn't. It's a level 2 one. It's I can cast on my bonus action.
Yeah, I think that's a spell casting rule.
Yeah, I think you only cast one spell per.
Don't
okay.
worry about it then.
Yeah, so a spellcast with bonus action is swift. You must use a bonus action on your turn. You can't cast another spell during the same turn except a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
So if you had a cantrip with 1 action, you could do like the cantrip and then as a bonus action do a spell, but you can't do 2
All
spells.
good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Do you want to run towards the?
Yep, I am fucking bolting towards the door.
Yeah, cool. And your shield spell is still up because it's till
Yep.
the end of your turn. So after this, your shield spell will dissipate. So yeah, go ahead, just fucking run, and it's gonna make a like a beak attack at you. It's gonna like lunge forward.
Ooh.
And I'll actually roll this in the d20 because I've got clearly loaded dice. It's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Oh, it crit.
So he's gonna now, as you're running, you're bolting, and it kind of just jabs in at you at the side with its beak. That is going to be.
Oh.
Roll a d6. So 2 double the dice is 4. Where's this fucking damage? 4. Yeah, it's a total of 6 piercing damage.
6 piercing. Ooh,
That's
bastard.
fine.
No, that's fine.
and you take it in the side as you just run and run. You've now got this side wound where it has indeed bitten you.
So I scream out, I'm still
And
running
you-
towards the door
you
itself.
bust through the door, remembering where the tripwire is, and dance over that, and you're kind of just on the edge of it.
Yeah, so I'll lay myself up to the wall, waiting for Tybe and the others to get through.
Because it had a surprise round on you guys, so it rolled highly on initiative and is now going to take its turn in the initiative order against now Tiber, who was right next to it, and it's now going to attempt to attack you. It's going to make
Alright.
it's gonna lash out with its tentacles, and actually no, I've already rolled it. That is a 14 to hit.
Does not hit.
Does not hit.
No,
So
has to be 18.
yeah, no, that's
Alright, so one of the tentacles lashes out with me, but I managed to duck out of the way. It still hits me, however, it rakes across my armor and does not leave any damage. It kind of thumps across my chest. However, no
okay,
wounds.
and
Not yet.
it is
Anyway.
now your turn.
All right. So I see this thing. I scream out. I actually don't say anything. I just very. I look at this thing, this horrible monster, and I grip my pendant, and I say, "Joaquin, grant me your blessing." And as I walk and as I speak those words, grant me your sanctuary. Actually, I cast sanctuary on myself as a bonus action, and then I use the remainder of my action to basically run past the creature towards
Okay,
the
so
exit, where I
sanctuary is a
assume
bonus action.
Avaloc is. It's a bonus action, so with the rest of my turn, I intend to move. And if he wants to attack me, it has to make a Wisdom saving throw against my DC of 12. If he wants to attack me, if it fails, it has to choose another target, or it doesn't attack anything.
So it says you ward a
As a
creature
shimmering-
within range against attack. So for the next minute, you cast it on
Mhm.
yourself, and anything that it
Yes.
wants to attack you has to make a wisdom. Okay, I'll make a wisdom saving throw with Mr. Greek. So it's as you start to run, it will attempt to make an opportunity attack, but may not be able to if it fails its wisdom. That is a 17.
17 does hit. As the
No,
shimmering
17.
light.
No, so that's the wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
So
Yep. So he does.
it's able to attack you.
Yep.
And now it's going to roll its opportunity attack. That's a 13.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah, so it
As,
snaps at you again.
The tendril snaps at me again, and I should. I almost get knocked to my feet, but I manage to scuttle away, rolling underneath this thing's wriggling, writhing body. As I make a beeline now for the exit. I
Yeah.
assume.
You've got your movement
Avaloc
and your
is
action,
also-
so you can actually can keep on going.
Yeah. I will try. Like, where's Avalok situated? Is he behind me or is he in front of me towards the exit?
He's in front of you on the other side of the
Okay.
door already. The door's open, and you can see him there, and he's just on the other side of the rubble where that tripwire was.
Yeah,
He's just
past
Yeah.
it.
just
Alright.
past the tripwire.
All right, so I'm just running past. I just continue the Bundy.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and run. You're now kind of at the. Let me just count one.
Isn't it the bird's turn?
And now,
do that.
now you're you're kind of in the main doorway of the of the keep.
Of the castle. Is the entrance or the exit in front? Do I see it on the horizon? In the
Yeah.
distance?
You're in there. Like you're in the
Alright,
hallway.
great.
You can see the light of the forest out in front of you. And you're just kind of still making your way towards it. Now.
Yep.
Porrig. You're watching more combat happen. Let's do some combat. So you're gonna see King Groll now bound up towards the owl bear, and he's going to make a massive attack with his huge morning star as he bounds up towards it, and he swings it around. However, the owl bear just swipes it away from him as he
Yes.
yeah unfortunately is not able to hit it, but and it is now the owlbear's turn.
Oh, come on, Owlbear.
And so the
Come
owlbear
on,
is now going
Owlbear.
to snap back at King Groll and make a beak attack. And one claw attack. They both hit, and you now see this owlbear just like retch up in like and just glare down at it. It's like, I've killed your wolf, now I'm going to kill you, and is now going to and scratches out at King Groll and just leaves huge bloody scratches along his body, and you can hear him like just howl in pain as now the owlbear goes in and snaps at his abdomen with a beak, just clipping out a chunk of his flesh as he's now bleeding. Is going to take 10, takes 13, and owlbears do serious damage, yo. He's taking
Yes!
a lot of damage. He's just taking some very big hits and is starting to look wounded. Still very able to fight, but very, very damaged as now these two hobgoblins that are standing by are going to jump in and attempt to get some cheap shots on...
Is the necromancer there?
Yeah, the drow is there. He's
Oh,
standing
so
a bit
he's
behind.
not dead yet.
No.
Oh, shame. Yeah.
Loot his spellbook. Learn necromancy.
Anyway, the hobgoblins are rushing forward to make their attacks on the owlbear. So that is now 3, 15, and... Hey, actually, just to make this more interesting, does someone want to control the owlbear? And someone who's not in this scene? Thinking exile?
I
Wanna be
suppose.
another?
I mean, like,
I've got a lot of stat blocks I'm swapping between to simulate the combat.
yeah, but like, I don't know if that's even necessary to do the stats.
Well, I
think
kinda
it
want to.
is- Okay.
Just let the owlbear.
I don't know. Like, I don't know the stat blocks of the owlbear, so I don't know.
Oh, well, I've got a link. Anyway,
Alright,
don't worry about it.
that's-
I've got it. Don't worry about it.
Just keep going.
Okay,
You're right.
Yep.
I believe
So
in you.
one of the hobgoblins makes an attack and is manages to sink his sword in. However, the other one is like goes in with a swipe, and again the owlbear like moves its whole body off to the side and bats it away, and actually slams the creature across the room a little. At this point, you now see Vimren, the drow, retreat back into the main throne room and disappear from your vision. Porrick, it is now your turn.
I giggle at all of this. I'm quite amused. I think it's hilarious. Is there anyone near me? At the moment?
I mean, they're like 6 to 7 meters down this chamber from you, and you've got a door on your side with a and you can see in the distance, and you heard the sound of that creature attacking Avalak and Tiber. You're now in a hallway, and there's a curtain on your
so I
right
know that the
and a
creature's
curtain
behind
on
me
your
now.
left. Like,
Hmm.
where you were situated, you were hiding here
Yeah.
on that X. The battle with the thing happened at the end of this hallway, like down there. So like the hallway ends there and the door's there, and this is the religion room in here.
Hmm.
And they are now way off to the left. Beyond, you can't see them right now, but you did witness their like as you're watching almost two battles. Like you're watching this massive one with the owlbear and the wretching, and you kind of did see some movement off in the room.
All right. I'm going to. I'll leave it there, and I'm gonna go for a run.
All right.
So I'm going to run my 30 meters and then dash my 30. I might dash my 30 feet and then run my 30 feet.
Yeah, so I think you can move. You've got movement of 30. Use action to dash, and I think you can bonus. Can you dash twice? I think you can dash twice on a turn because you've got bonus dash as well as your feature, don't you? Yeah. So you just in this show of dexterity and speed, you are actually able to run pretty much all the way. And you're still kind of just at the end of the. Actually, 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you actually managed to catch up with Avaloc.
These guys
Okay,
are
like,
You
dust.
catch
sprint
up.
across. However, as you're running, you encounter the Grick now writhing and clicking quite hungrily on the ground. And as you run past, it is going to make an opportunity attack on you.
Well, so I run up to the room and I see this giant big snake and I go, "Oh, that's a fucking big thing." Go for a run past it.
Yeah, and it's going to make an attack on you. Is it a what is it? A 15 to hit?
So my armor class is 11.
It hits.
It hits.
Um,
Oh, you fucking piece of shit.
you're gonna take that much damage. You take 7 bludgeoning damage from a huge tendril just comes out and smacks you.
I kind of just feel the blow hit my back, and I go flying forward towards the next wall.
Yeah.
Can I make a dexterity save to land on my feet and keep running?
Yeah, roll acrobatics. It kind of whacks you, and as you're dashing past, kind of attempts to throw you off balance and smack you
2.
around. What's your acrobatics?
0.
Okay, I'm gonna say it kind of knocks you down. You spend half of your remaining movement to get back up and to keep running.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely slowed you down, and so you're kind of just now like a few meters away back from Avaloc.
I'm still laughing at it. I find this entire event incredibly amusing.
In your Irish way, you've kind of just gone. You've like, this is just another bar brawl.
Yeah.
I laughed
It's just with bigger pigs.
The insanity of Porrick just losing his shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, the big monster thing's gonna eat me. Oh fuck
Avaloc,
it.
you're up.
That hurts.
Avaloc, you're up.
Oh, I continue to run like hell. After bracing
cool.
myself. It's on the wall, whatever, yeah. Go my 30 feet and yeah, continue down the hall.
Okay. So you managed to keep running, and you are now kind of running up alongside Tyber as you're both descending down now. And you're kind of at the front steps. You see these skeletons holding guard, and you can actually see them now begin to run back into the keep. They've turned and are now in file coming back to inside the keep.
Are they just like running past us as we run forward, or?
Yeah, they've passed you. They're not engaging you.
Convenient.
I'm worried as I reach for my copper flail, but they do not attack, so I do not attack either.
And I just got time. Keep moving.
Yep, keep moving.
Spend your whole action moving, and you're now down there. You're on the path. You can see the forest floor, like out in the cover of the trees off in the distance, and you're just hauling for it.
Yeah.
It's now the Grick's go. He's now going to chase after Porrig. He's going to move up to where Porrig was and make an attack. Actually, what's it? Yeah, no, it's got speed. That is a 10 to hit.
Nope.
The first one doesn't hit? Okay. Yeah, cool. And it just comes up and swipes at you, and you just manage to kind of tumble out the way, like
Yeah,
Irish
so
laughter.
I see it come up to me and I see it swipe and I move backwards and go, "Oh, you fucking big snake. It's not the first big fucking snake I've seen."
Okay, that's your turn up. Tiber. Sorry, that's the Grick's turn up. Tiber, it's your go.
Continue to run. I don't think there's anything else. I just run. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
you keep
there's
running.
nothing else. I'm just gonna
Cool.
run. Keep running.
Yeah, you're gonna keep going. And
making my
now
escape.
Parag, it's your go again.
I'm going to.
You've got a Grick behind you, bearing down on you, and there is a
Grick.
trap. There's a trap in the doorway in front of you with a tripwire
Yeah,
that you
well-
were pointed out to before on your way in. You're kind of in
Well-
that doorway.
I go over the trap.
Yep.
And,
the Grick is going to make an opportunity attack on you, and it's going to roll. I'll do it in the roll 20.
But I'm in front of the grip though.
It's still
You are,
safe.
but it moved up to you and made a melee attack on the
Oh,
last
so
turn.
I'm disengaging. Is that
Yeah.
what?
Oh right, yeah, you can use your bonus action to disengage, and yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
sneaky.
Ah,
Yeah, so it doesn't attack me.
yeah, you got your wits around. Yeah, no attack. Like you just kind of
Awesome.
keep guarding it and fending it off, and then you just all of a sudden Dash. Just fucking leg it.
As I'm running along the corridor, are there any interesting rooms that I can see?
So as you go over the tripwire, there is kind of down, I would say like 6 to 7 meters on your right.
Oh,
There is a
as I
door.
go over the tripwire, does the thing hit the tripwire?
Do you like you know where it is? Like, do you step on it on purpose?
No. Does it, like, if it's following me, does it go
Does
over?
the
We're gonna
grip
find out. We'll find
activate
out
the
on.
trap?
We'll find out on his turn.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
But you go past and you've got many doors. You've got many ways to go. This is kind of like the main separating corridor that goes to the front turrets and so on the far right you see a door. It's probably like
Okay.
7 meters down on your right. You see another door 7 meters down on your left. It's all dimly lit, and then kind of more like diagonally front right from you, you see a small door that looks to be like the entrance to like the little arrow slits where guards and where you did see guards, and you see those diagonally front on your left and right, little doors that go into the like the little archer posts guard.
Are
watch.
any of these doors open?
Currently, it's closed.
All doors are closed. Okay, well, I'm going to. So I've used my move action. So I've used my disengage action, which is a bonus action.
Bonus, and you've used your movement. You've probably used only like one or only 5 feet of movement.
Okay, then I want to attempt to shoot the trap.
Okay, so are you attempting to shoot the tripwire, the rigging, or like just the bunch of shit
the
up the top?
largest part. Yeah, the largest part. So possibly where the plate, that the stick or something that would be holding up the stuff up the top.
Yeah, I'll say, go ahead and make this is a crossbow attack.
Yes.
Make a crossbow attack at the, I guess. I mean, yeah. Describe where you want to go. You've got like the bulkier stuff is probably up the top, hoping to dislodge something and make it unstable, or you can go for the like a very very slim chance at getting the tripwire.
What's the tripwire tied to on the other side?
So the tripwire is across the base of the ground.
Yeah.
And you can see now there's like no doubt some kind of mechanism, some kind of mechanism that bends it around, but they've actually just covered it up in like bricks and rubble and things to make it look like it would be like, loosely. It's kind of like they've tried to camouflage it. It's quite well hidden. And then there's a thin wire that goes up along the wall along that side. And then that kind of goes up into the roof rafters where there's unstable debris kind of just hanging there loosely held in by like looks like boards and loose shit.
Yep, I'm gonna go for the rigging where it connects to the string kind of thing to try and hit that and destroy it.
Well, I was saying that's covered by rubble. Like that's.
But wouldn't the top get? Where's the top?
Oh, the top. Sorry, you're talking about the top bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So make a crossbow attack. I'll say it's got like an AC of like it's not hard to hit because it's like not moving. I'll say it's just got an AC of 12, maybe actually 10. Yeah.
I'm proficient, so I get 4.
So you just let something loose, and it sticks into one of the boards, but doesn't seem to have any effect. Yeah, you've still got 25 feet of movement.
I'll use that 25 feet of movement.
All right, and you're now down in the main entrance, and you see a number of skeletons run past you, start barreling behind you, and as they do, they go past and they trip the trap as you're running past, and you're just going, fucking.
Really? I like look at them, and do I see the rocks fall down?
You see all kinds of. You see big stone bricks, tiles, yeah, all kinds of shit. And they are actually 2 of them are the front 2 are immediately crushed and broken, and they are defeated. And you then see the other 2 skeletons observe this and, like robots, just immediately turn to the left and go in that and go off to the left, and just going in a different way.
All right. I laugh.
And you keep going. I'll say for now, you guys are out of combat. You can keep running and fleeing, and
as I'm running in this heavy armor, it's difficult to run. However, I do I didn't manage to keep up, and I just continued to run. To the horses, quickly!
Good point. I was holding my sides. I hope the others will be able to get out.
Are you okay?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll deal with that situation after. Let's just damn it. Get to the
Go.
horses.
Pork!
As I'm going out of the castle, I wanted to see, like, just push against the doors to see if any of the doors are open.
That you would have had to turn back at the hallway instead of running.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to interrupt you before you ended that combat thing.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
what I was
instead of
trying to.
exiting the castle, you actually wanted to turn right
Yeah,
and go
as
like
I'm running through
and go
the
another 20
corridor.
feet down the hall instead.
Wait, sorry, I'm a bit confused. So the hallway going out of the castle doesn't have any doors there.
The main entrance,
Yeah.
it was wide open. The doors are like wide open.
Okay. So
The main entry and exit that you guys came through, wide open.
yeah, and there's no doorways on the side going up to there in that hallway.
He's asking other doorways. You know, we've got like the main entrance room,
Yeah.
and he was asking if
That
there's
main
doors
entrance room is the main
on the
hallway.
sides.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And you said there were like lines of doors on the sides.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there was 1 7 meters to your right, 1 7 meters to your left, and the main
Yes.
entry and exit was in front of you.
Oh, I'm in a room. Okay, I thought it was in a hallway.
It is a
I was
hallway.
getting confused.
Like
How
it's
big is this tripwire?
I'm gonna draw for you. I'm just gonna clear these drawings. Actually,
But essentially, Pork wants to go and just look at the other rooms which we haven't been in yet. I think that's what he wants.
I'm gonna
to do.
use
It does
lines.
look like
Or
a
something.
penis as well.
So
So if I draw in this top corridor, what I thought it was there was a door here. You keep going.
this
Look
thing
behind and
won't.
see.
This thing will keep going like this until it's closed off. All right.
Oh yeah.
You can just do freehand.
This is a
Maybe
bit neater.
squares.
I don't know. And keep in mind, this isn't really to scale, but it's just my best attempt at it. All right.
I look behind and I see Pork. Pork. Let's run. Did you see?
Yeah.
Did you see Osborne
No.
or Fenrir?
Didn't see any of them. Hope they got out.
Hopefully they're out.
Oh shit!
this
Why does it change color? Just bear with me for a sec. This is so shittily drawn. I apologize.
My circles have edges. It's all good.
Okay, so that's front stairs. Main entrance is
Mhm.
there on that
Mhm.
dash. This dash is a tripwire.
Yep.
This is the doorway. This is like
Okay.
the room with the big beastie in it, in there.
Yep.
And you cross the tripwire and go here, and you're in this is a main hallway to your left and right. Each is like
Oh, okay.
roughly 20
Is this
feet
a
to your
room
right.
here?
Yeah.
Or is
So
that turret?
turret. Well, you can't really tell. You just see what you see is a door here, and you see the door here, and there's obviously more of
Okay.
the structure like around here, and like around here.
I
and-
want to check
and-
into this room before I leave. This room here. So as I'm running up to exit, I'm going to go there.
Okay, you go and open the door. There are 2 goblins in there. They look
I
at
yell
you.
at them, "Get to the fight!"
Oh, roll persuasion.
That's right.
Fucking stupid goblin.
He's a good.
You know what?
He's a good
Persuasion
disciple
or
of Siege.
deception? Persuasion or deception here, whichever you prefer.
He's a good disciple of Siege, running at people and then yelling at them so they can fight.
16 plus 4, 20.
20.
Yeah. They go. They look at you and they're like, they don't know you, but they're like, clearly he's important. And they fuck off. And they go out and they turn right and they go down in that room to your south. There's nothing else in this room. So this room is just like that, and it's got arrow slits here, facing the
There's
entrance.
nothing on the ground. There's no arrows or bows or anything.
No, it's just like this is just no one lives in this room.
Fucking hell.
Oh, sorry. Are you looking for weapons?
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
looking
looking
for
for
weapons
loot
and
or
shit?
anything in this room. Yeah.
Sorry?
Loot or
Valuables.
anything in the room.
Oh yeah.
Loot.
Yeah, there is. So there are a few weapons there. There are 2 short bows. There are like a lot of arrows in here. There are about 80 arrows, all in different little leather satchels and quivers.
Mhm.
Keep in mind that you would have difficulty carrying all this stuff,
I'm
Clumsy,
not
unless
gonna
you've got.
take fucking 80
Yeah, no,
arrows.
I'm just saying, mate. I'm just saying, mate.
No, yeah.
No, where am I? There are also 4 spears, 2 long swords, a morning star, a great sword, and a very well embossed quarterstaff that is etched in and has like feathers etched into it.
Oh, I look at the quarter staff. That looks expensive, I say to myself.
Right? Do you pick it
I
up?
grab the quarter staff. Yep.
You pick it up. It is incredibly light.
Incredibly light.
Yeah, like incredibly light. Like it's
Okay, well, I'm like, oh,
it's
fancy.
like it feels like like less than half a kilo.
Cool. And then I want to grab the morning star because I've always wanted one.
Okay, you get this. You grab this morning star and anything else?
No, I'll go over to the other room now. Have a look
Okay,
in there.
where are you going?
To the
Loot
next room.
mode activate.
This one.
Where?
The other tower.
Okay, 2 goblins in there.
Oh, you
Open it up and they
fucking
look at
pieces
you.
of shit. What the
What do you
fuck
say?
are you doing? Get to the fight.
Roll persuasion or deception.
18.
And they say, in common, "What's the fight?"
There's a big fucking bird. Did I run?
Roll persuasion again.
Six.
It
No,
says back,
7.
"We're not going to go fighting. No, our job's here to guard." "Who the fuck are you?"
I look them both in the eye and I say, how fucking happy do you think the boss is gonna be if he finds out you little cowards were hiding in the fucking horde?
Roll intimidation.
10. Oh, wait. Deception or intimidation?
Intimidation.
7.
And they say, well, the goblin says back, "Well, you go tell him yourself. We're sitting here. These are our orders, and our boss gives us orders. We don't know you. Fuck off."
One more. I want to go. So I want to go for a performance or a deception. I want to go, who the fuck do you think I am?
At this point, they pull out their swords. They're attacking you. Roll initiative.
Terror to 6.
Cool. They're fucking little shits. Fuck goblins. I'm
Oh,
not
but
fucking
goblins
kill
like that.
goblins.
And Avalak and Tiber,
know.
you guys are fucking bolted. You
Do-
guys
do-
have-
do- 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 do.
you've made skip.
Yeah.
8.
8 for initiative?
Yeah.
Okay, immediately you are attacked by a goblin with a short sword bearing at you. Such is their way. They fight over disagreements. And
One to custom.
he's going to roll a short sword attack against you. That is here's a goblin one. A 12 to hit.
Yeah, he hits me.
Okay.
Wait, he gets +4? Wow.
Yeah, plus 40. That's proficiency plus 2. That's like
You...
1d6. You take 7 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And he snarls at you. He's like, fuck off. Like, the Fowler's like, we're sitting here, we don't know you. You come and tell us what to do.
Don't know the story.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Barham's
Give them the
cultists.
finger and I go, oh, fuck you little cunts, and I close the door. And then I'm going to use my disengage and then run.
Disengage, and then use your movement, and then your action to move further. Alright, you're out of there.
Oh, shit.
You fucking bolted. You can kind of see where Avalak and Tiber have now kind of reached the tree line. And you're kind of halfway
Yeah, we're
between
pretty far by this
the
point.
keep. Yeah, you guys were fucking like.
We're getting those
had to
horses
loot,
one way or
walked
another.
around.
Yeah.
So they've kind of gone towards the tree line. You've probably actually lost sight of them. You saw them enter. You assume they're looping around to the horses, and to Mary and Mary.
Cool. I'll
Which we can't distraught.
I'll keep on laughing and go find Mary and Mary.
Right. So it takes some time, and by this time, Iano becomes Albrecht once again. Tiber and Avalak, you get to the horses first, and you're the first ones there.
Skilled use. Good job.
I think as the illusion comes off, we actually see the mark like, oh, that actually hurt more than I thought. Oh. Scramble over the horses.
As long as you can ride, we can see to it later. No one's here. Just us two.
Alright, we'll wait for a sec. They don't.
No, let's get mounted.
Yeah.
Let's get mounted.
No problem in the world.
Boric,
My
are you? How badly
boys,
damaged
how
do you
are
look?
going? Yeah,
How badly
I've got
damaged
a
do you
nice
look?
big bruise on my nice big bruise on my chest that you can see kind of
Yeah.
flowing through my armor. I've got a nice big slash right across my arm where the little fucking goblin cunt hit me. I've got a nice big quarterstaff in one hand. On my other hand, I got a morning star. I run up to Mary and I chuck them in the back, and they go, "Well, that was a bunch of fun. What? Well, I think we should go now." I kind of pissed them off a little bit.
Oh, you certainly took your time getting here.
Well, I had to find that. Look at it; it's beautiful. Yeah,
I must
they're
admit, it's a
nice
good
and fun.
quarterstaff. But let's did you see?
Where's
the
Osborne?
others? Yeah.
Osborne. And
I didn't-
yeah. The other one. Forget
Benro.
his name in character.
The other one's dead. He is very, very dead. Torn in half.
And Osborne.
I
I look around
not that
frantically.
I saw it, so I assume that he's not dead by the big bird. He could be dead some other way, though. I'm sure he'll.
We
find
ride
out.
south
He's a clever little fucker.
to the creek. Leave the horse here for Osborne if he returns. If not, we leave now.
It's
Okay,
fair.
okay.
Let's go.
You leave the pony there,
We leave the pony there. And we ride south.
and you ride. You ride south. Well done.
Quick skip.
That was it.
GG. That was good.
Yeah. We survived.
I'd like to say my
Alright, yeah, I
plan
think-
was
I think
fucking brilliant.
now's a good time to
Just
call it.
putting it out there.
Oh, man.
Brilliant plan. Is that
Yeah.
GGDD? DM?
Nice. So what's the plan?
I think so. I gotta head off in about 5 minutes time, so.
Yeah, I gotta head off soon too.
Better. Oh,
Is that
Tozer died.
DM?
Yep, Tozer died.
There you go. That
There you
was.
go. That's how he dies.
That was
That's
the
it. He rage quit. He
He
wanted us to
left
die
before
now.
he gave us XP. He left before he gave us XP.
They just be sitting there going.
That was a good fucking game.
Lots of
Hey,
combat.
we need
Lots
to
of
go
evil
and
peoples.
find everyone though. Pardon?
Oh, lots of peoples around. The thing is, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if Osborne's still alive. Rest in peace. It's probably
I think
Tozer
we're
killed him.
forgetting that I got the map that they were arguing after.
Not true. No, that's the scrapings of the map. That's good and all done. I got.
I just
I
wish
wrote
I could have
something.
seen the fucking necromancer's face when we went into that room to search.
Yeah, they actually try and find the fucking thing. He's like,
I was hoping you would go and stab him and kill him and take a spell book and become a
No,
necromancer.
that was
I was
gonna happen.
hoping.
Goal's gonna